Yes, yes, people. What is happening? Welcome to Saeed TV and welcome to the 50k subscriber party, the virtual party, man. You know what I mean? We're not in lockdown, but this is the virtual party. Big up to everybody who's tuning in right now. Um, and yeah, man, we did it, people. 50k, man. You know what I'm saying? To big up to everybody's been part of the journey, been part of the process. You know, we don't like to use the word process, but this is the process, people. You know, we're here. Big up to the guys who are joining me right now. We've got Charlie. Charlie, how are you, mate?
No, great, mate. And I'm honoured to be part of the party. I'm saying it's been
Yeah,
a great, it's been great, mate. And thanks for having me on. And congrats, it's a great achievement, mate.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. And we have James. James, if you're not on the stream, you're in the gym, mate. So how are you, mate?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Just got the message when I was in the gym and popped home and thought, you know what, I'd come on and help you celebrate. 50k is a hell of a number, mate. So well done.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Big up to everybody who's been on a journey, man. Like I said to you, Anas, Static, everybody, Ilias, listen, I see the people from day one. If I don't read out your name, I know who you are, man. You know what I'm saying to you. But yeah, like I said to you, people, started a journey in 2017. And yeah, we're here now today. You know what I mean? I remember the vlog I did. I don't know if you guys remember the 2-1 versus Leicester Mourinho when Shaw got the winner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was the first
That was
game.
the first one you did.
Yeah, first one. First one I did. The first vlog. At first, I wanted to make my channel a vlogging channel.
Yeah.
Actually just a vlogging channel, see the games and whatnot. And then all of a sudden, we're here as an actual, proper, legitimate YouTube channel. So it's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. But it just shows you, man, the community, James, what can be built in it. You know what I mean? I'm just from local Manchester, but just shows you, man, a journey, what can be built.
Mate, it's mental, right? So I'm just going to tell a little story and like hijack this for a little bit,
Go for it, go for it.
but yeah, but basically the other day I got approached by someone who works for the Prince's Trust, right, which is basically a charity that works with 16 to 25-year-olds that are either underprivileged or they're lacking a certain thing in their life, whether it be confidence or self-esteem or work ethic or whatever, and they basically get together in with a group of other like-minded people for like on a 12-week program, free of charge, like paid for by the trust. And they work on those skills. And basically, I got in touch with someone, and one of the lads was a big United fan, and he loved fan content. And obviously, we've been in lockdown for a couple of years, and there's not been much to do, right? So he's been watching a lot of fan content. So this guy got in touch with me. He goes to my gym, and he was like, would you mind coming down and meeting the lad to the fire station? And chatting with him, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, that's cool. Like, I'm honoured. I'm just a normal guy that chats about United, like we all are. And yeah, I'd love it. And then I got thinking, I was like, you know what would be cool? Maybe I can reach out to a few people that I know in this small community, and just reach out and see if we can get a few messages across. So I reached out to a fair few people. I'm lucky enough to be in contact with a few. And there's a lot of nice people in this industry, man. And Saeed was probably the first person to get back to me that was like, yeah, man, that's not a problem. I will get a video back to you tonight. No issues. So he recorded a little video. The guy's name was Musa. He recorded a little video, big up, keep chasing your dreams, keep working, that kind of stuff. It was really good. I walked in, met the kid, and he was buzzing to meet me. And he was like, "You right, man? Like, how are you? Oh, I can't believe you're here and all this." I said, "Have you seen the videos, mate?" He said, "Yeah, I was buzzing." I said, "You look a bit tired, mate. You all right?" He said, "Yeah, I was up till 1 a.m. watching Saeed and rants." I was like, "Mate,
wow.
you got to find better things to do with your time, man. Honestly, like, can't be watching them two till 1 a.m. They'll be there the next day watching them." But that's the thing, right? You talk about this community. It's people taking time out of their day, no matter what you think popularity looks like or internet popularity or fame or whatever. It's taking time to give back to the people that have supported you and your channel, because he might not be financially paying for you, but he's watching your content, right? And that is
absolutely
a channel in itself. So yeah, big up to you and people like you all across the community that are doing amazing things. Because sometimes it's easy to forget with all the hate that we get that people actually like and watch and love the content. So 50k is a hell of a number, man. So just wanted to tell that.
No, big up to you, man. Appreciate that story. And big up to the what's his name again? Is it Faz? Did you say?
Musab is his name.
Musab. Yeah, Musab. Big up to Musab, man. Someone's asking me. Rude gentleman says, "What's your favorite moment since starting this YouTube thing?" Ooh, that's a good question. That one. Obviously, we've not been winning since I started YouTube. I know the haters will probably say that I caused the division and the kind of the reason why we're not winning. But I genuinely think for me, I'm trying to think of an outstanding moment. I think it might have been the night of the PSG night.
Yeah.
My
birthday, 2019. What up?
Yeah, man. I think the match reaction after that game, and the elation of my match reaction, I think it might have been the PSG game. That might have been my favorite one. Just before I ask you guys your favorite one, big up to Prem Prodigy, man. Been here from the start as well, man. Big up to you, man. Big up, mate. Been following you since you were ranting outside Everton 4-0. Mate, that feels like a long time ago. Congrats on the 50k. Hopefully United can get there good now. Let's hope, man. Let's hope 50k onwards is the best, it's the best moment. But yeah, I don't know, Charlie, since you've been watching my channel, any moments that you thought, any vlogs, any kind of,
Well, I did enjoy I watched the watch a bit of the watch along last night for when Real Madrid scored their goal. That's just one that sprung to mind, a very, very recent one.
Yeah.
But also, I remember, obviously, I think a few people have mentioned the 1-0 loss away at Newcastle. Do you remember when? That was interesting. I have to say that was interesting. That one. But yeah, you know what? There's a lot of people out there that will give you hate bait. There is. But what you've got to realize is that there's a lot of people involved in this channel that love what you do.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of people that, it's part of their day. They'll see, well, I've not had a good day today, but I'm looking forward to the show tonight or the show this afternoon. That will cheer me up. And that's what people don't realize. These people who are trying to cancel people, they don't see the good, and that story that James told as well. They don't recognize the good that fan channels can do and can bring people together, and the opportunities you can give other people. So you just got to keep doing what you're doing, and you know what, hard work pays off, and 50k is a top achievement.
Absolutely, mate. I appreciate that, man. What about you, James? What are you thinking?
There's been a lot, man. Like you said, certain fan cams have been very good and very watchable. For me, I just loved I love the vibe that you and Nuruddin have, man. Like I really love it. Yeah. Because for me, you're because you're seen sometimes as the person that rants, but then when you get on the channel when you're
Nuruddin,
you're the calm one. You're the calming, sensible influence, man, right? So, and listen, he's got a heart. He obviously loves the club. He's got the club's best interest at heart. There's no doubt about that. I don't see eye to eye sometimes in the way that he sees things, but listen, he's been right on a lot of stuff. So big up to him, and he's a huge part of the channel. So there's a lot of content like that. But at the end of the day, like just the evolution through the years, man. I mentioned it the other day, but working with people like John Salaka, Rio Ferdinand, stuff like that, that's big, man. Like that is big when you get people like that are approaching you and agreeing to come on your channel, and people can give you as much hate as you want. But at the end of the day, a lot of it's jealousy, and they give a lot of money and time to do what you're doing, mate. And it all comes from hard work, all comes from self-belief. You were doing it when 10 people were watching, when 50 people were watching, when 100 people were watching. And that's a message to everyone out there, innit? If you graft long enough and hard enough and you believe in something,
absolutely,
it works, man. It happens.
Yeah. That's the main thing, people. Anyone that's looking to do content, don't be discouraged by the views you get at the start, the views you get while you're on the top, the views you get while you're in the middle. Everything is about consistency, and everything is about determination. Like I said to you, I was a teacher. I just thought to myself, you know what? I was getting spotted in work, man. I think that was the one for me, just getting spotted in work, asking for selfies in work. When obviously when you're a teacher, you can't really take pictures because of safeguarding and all that. So it was one of them moments where I just thought to myself, you know what? Let me just do this full time. And I quit my job last year. And I remember the head teacher telling me, stay. Yo, man, the kids love you. Why don't you just think about it? Why don't you go part-time? I was like, nah, man. I feel like I'm ready to take this on full-time. And then within 2 months, I was signed to a management team. And then boom, you know what I mean? We kind of just went from strength to strength. So for me, it's all about believing yourself in life. I think, that kind of belief in yourself you have to take it within you because nobody else is going to believe in you. You know, I genuinely think nobody else will believe in you. Only you can believe in yourself. Nobody, no, everyone can give you advice, but you know that advice is whether you take it on board and you say, right, I'm going to use this advice to take it on board, and if you don't, then you kind of almost feel sorry for yourself. So for me, it's about believing in yourself and kind of just taking it on. But I want to move on to the fact that you know the whole kind of fan media debate. You know, a lot of people say it's bad. You know, what I mean, it brings a lot of negativity. I certainly think for me, I think a lot of people have this narrow-mindedness of social media and especially fan channels and fan media. The amount of people that actually like it and come around the world and watch it, and people that it brings people closer to the game. I just honestly, I still can't believe till this day that people say it's a bad thing when it brings people together. How are you trying to gatekeep that kind of feeling of a vlog or a fan cam or let's say a watch along or something like that? It brings the fan base together. It brings humans together on the level where you have a common thing, you United fans, Charlie. It brings you together, you know, and that's the feeling, you know, people should cherish the most, isn't it? I don't understand. There's also, I get the people that say people that, you know, want to seek negativity, but if your club is not doing well and you're speaking, you know, truth about your football club, it can't be seen as negative.
No, of course you're right. And unfortunately, you are right in terms of the jealousy. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that, and I'm not going to target us. I know obviously it's not the show for targeting people, but there's a lot of people. So the so-called old-fashioned maybe fans who don't like to criticise their club at all. So they're not prepared enough to take a big stance against the Glazers because it's criticising Man United. They're not prepared enough to speak out about things because you can't, you know, you just go to the ground, you get pissed, you leave your family at home, you know, it's Man United before family, etc. They can't criticise the club at all. That I think there's a part of that's the group of people that support Man United that are like that, and they can't then criticise anything about the club. And I think that's a big problem. I think you need to be able to criticise your team. We need to be able to criticise the club and this current team to get anywhere. You know, we're an absolute shambles on the pitch and off the pitch. See what happens with what's happened with Ranić. You know, it's a total shambles.
Oh yeah, happened. We will talk about that. Yeah.
And what you do, Saeed, in my opinion, and everyone's got their own opinion, but what I think you do is you call out the truth. And some people don't like that. I personally like people who call out the truth. That's why I like people like Mourinho, Conte. That's why I wasn't so keen on Ollie, because I thought Ollie covered up a lot of the truth. And I thought he protected too many people. But you've got to keep doing what you're doing, because what you do, in my opinion, you call out the truth and you actually tell people what's actually going on. I think there's too many people in our fan base who go down blind alleys and don't actually see and have foresight of things that are going to happen in the future. And I think one thing you do is you give your followers and subscribers, you give them foresight. You were talking about Ollie right from the start, talking about Rashford as a number 9. He isn't a number 9. All these things that you said, obviously, some things you're going to be, of course, you're not going to be 100% right.
No, 100% not. Yeah.
But I think a lot of what you say
Maguire,
is actually
cough, Maguire.
I
don't know how that, by the way, came about, by the way. That Harry Beckenbauer. I don't know what happened, people, man. I remember, I feel like with the Harry Beckenbauer, James, it just came about because I feel like the elegance on the ball. I don't know if you've seen, there's a video of him against Hull where he got the ball from the bottom of his pitch to the end. I was watching games of him, and that Beckenbauer moment obviously will live on forever, but it still haunts me to this day because of how bad it's become. You know what I mean? But Beckenbauer moment, mate. There's a lot of moments where I've had, man. I'm thinking, bloody hell, mate. It's not been great, man. It's not been great, is it?
No press is bad press, though, Saeed. If that's what you remember for, that's what you remember for, then that's what you remember for. On the fan content and media thing,
go for it.
Yeah, Charlie makes a good point about the whole like old-fashioned fans and stuff like that. There's been a sign in the ground for years, which is MUFC, wife, religion, in that order, and that's how a lot of people kind of see it. I must admit, I've been going to the games, like I've had the season ticket on and off for 26 years, right? So fan content wasn't really around when I was going. It was very much United We Stand, United issue out today, all that kind of stuff. And that's how people got their point across. You know, you'd go into the Bishops before a game, you'd sing a song led by Pete Boyle and stuff. And that was kind of what was basically happening in the fan base. And then fan channels started popping up. And I must admit, I had a big problem with fan channels to start with as a match-going fan, because it very much was a case of it appeared like it was they were speaking on behalf of the Manchester United fan base. Like what they said is what the fan base thought. And originally, right, so there's a person who lives not in Manchester, from quite far away, has a fan channel, has a big influence. And I felt like he didn't speak for me as a Manchester United fan, right? Now, why I've changed my mind on fan channels is meeting people like you, meeting other people, getting involved, and realizing that instead of speaking for the Manchester United fan base, they're letting the Manchester United fan base speak. And that is two completely different things.
Absolutely.
Like, people that are giving us a platform to air our thoughts and speak about the club can only be a positive thing. So when people see it as negative, I just think they're stuck in the past. I really do. And when, like, we had a funny moment, Charlie, you may not be aware of this, but after the game on one of the fan camps, we had a bit of trouble, didn't we, Saeed?
Yeah.
Just a little bit of trouble with a couple of guys rocking up in balaclavas and all that, trying to kick off, trying to cause a little fuss. And these people basically see themselves as protecting the club. I probably believe in their heart of hearts, they probably think they're doing the right thing, but they are so misinformed, right? They call themselves, this group called themselves the 1958, which is based around Munich. They're coming and attacking me. I've got a relative that was on the plane in the Munich air disaster that survived it and went on to play the following season. Like, very few people know more about the history of Manchester United than me. You're attacking the wrong person. And the guy that was attacking me came at me with like a London accent, and then he's going on about like worldwide fan base and all this and being an issue. I'm like, you've got the right passion, but you're just putting it in all the wrong areas.
Wrong energy.
And put it, like, you channel that energy and put it into getting the Glazers out of the club. I'm all behind you, mate. I'm all behind you 100%. And a lot of fan channels would be. You take that energy, that negative energy you've got at the moment, convert it into positive energy. We're all behind you. All millions of subscribers from all these different channels will be behind you. But at the moment, you're focusing on something because Manchester United are having negative results at the moment, and this happens to be the growth of fan channels in the fan channel era. People link the two. There wouldn't be anywhere near as much hatred towards fan channels if Manchester United were winning trophies.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the simple facts, man. That's how it is.
Yeah.
So if
100%.
we go on and win the league next season, there won't be as much hate towards fan channels, trust me.
You know what? Just after I read the super chat, big up to Usman Vertman. Big up to you, always supporting the channel, bro. I remember you when you were saying you get me after every sentence. You know what? That was when I don't know if you guys check it out. Yeah, there's an interview of me for Stretford Paddock, and all I said was you get me, and you know what I mean. I couldn't really speak. I'll be honest with you. A lot of people think that I'm just born for the camera. Like, I generally didn't know. And you know what the worst thing about it is, right? Yeah, I remember I did that interview after I think it was Man City game 0-0. I think it was Van Gaal's first season. I think it was. Yeah, I just said, you know what I mean. You get me. And I was just like, I didn't know what to say. I have no clue how to be media trained or whatnot. And I remember I went to uni the next day, and I just got laughed off, mate. I was like, every friend was just creasing me. Like, they were just bantering me and saying, you know what I mean? Even my actual lecturer was saying, you know what I mean? She put it up on the screen. Before our lecture on our seminar, she put it up on the screen because she was like, what is this like? You know, what's this analysis? I could do better than you. So a lot of people think that I just come up and, you know, I'm just confident. You know what, man? It's just having that self-belief. Yeah. And he goes, my favorite moment is still Twanzebe. Yeah, man. Gingerbread Man. Oh, my God, mate. Big up. Let me get your top 3 albums. Oof. Again, you put me on the spot here, man. Top 3 albums. I'm going to say J Hus. I'm going to also say... who else am I also going to say? I'm going to say the 50 Cent album. I'm going to say the Akon album, you know. In terms of all top 3, because I remember I grew up with them albums, and I think they'll never get out of my head. And obviously 50 Cent's a legend, man, and obviously J Hus is one of my favorite rappers right now currently. So yeah, man, big up to you, man. I appreciate it, man. But like I said to you, a lot of people, they even spud me, G, you know what I mean? I'm big up to Rance as well on his watch along. Like, it's just been a madness, man. I think lockdown just turned me crazy, because I was just like, United were about to win, and then Twanzebe creates this madness, you know. And then you've got, you know, there's so many issues. But for me, one thing I want to talk about, you just said there, James, I wish United were winning. I would love anything more than United to be winning. And you just imagine the emotions. Imagine, like, Liverpool now, obviously Liverpool and City are winning right now. But like I said, look at the emotion of the fan. Look at how the content is happy. The club can only do this. We will only see good content, really, if Man United win. So for me, for people to say I thrive on negativity, I actually don't. If United give us good performances and good wins, I will then reflect on it and I will say, you know what? I said here, I believed in the kind of, not only, but just in the fact that I wanted United to win. That I said I shaved my head off if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wins the Europa League final. I said it. If he wins the Europa League final, I'll shave my head off and I'll be humbled. But again, it didn't happen. But that's not down to me, though, is it? So I just feel like for me, Charlie, it's about, content is only based upon what Man United do. And hopefully Ten Hag can give us that. You know what I mean? We want to see trophies.
No, yeah, of course, yeah. Like the way that Man United are at the moment, you can't go creating happy content. If you did that, people would be calling that you've got no standards, so you can't. You're not going to win with anybody. You've got to do what you think, and it's like I just don't. I personally just don't get the point of view that you create negativity and all this. I think a lot of people are very, very two-faced. I think they say that, but then they themselves attack a certain group of players in the squad.
All their groupies, and they actually watch it, you know what I mean? And they love it deep down.
Yeah, so I think what you've got to do is you've always got to remember there's more people that like you than hate you. I know, absolutely. I know that you'll always focus on those haters more because we always do as people. We always focus on the negative things.
Yeah, human nature.
But actually, we always think like that. But actually, if you think just how many people, hundreds of people are probably watching right now and commenting right now about congrats. You've got to realize how many people are behind you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think a lot of people are very, very hypocritical. They will say that you create negativity, but then they'll start, for example, booing Paul Pogba inside the stadium, singling him out. Yeah. Well, that's just, it's just ridiculous. So you don't create negativity at all, mate. For me, you just represent. It's not about. It's not a voice for the fans. It's giving the fans a voice, as James put it really, really, really well. But some people do look up to you that way as well. Some people do see you positively, a voice for them, because there might be people from abroad in countries that have there might be people living in countries that have never watched United at Old Trafford. When you do that vlog inside Old Trafford, that probably makes their day. Seeing that they probably haven't been that. People might not have been to Old Trafford before, maybe not even seen inside Old Trafford before. So this is the sort of thing that people don't realise. So you just got to keep doing it, mate.
Absolutely. I just feel like for me, it's about, I just want to encourage, positivity. I try to kind of, and for me, like I said, to big up to Cyber West, it's all about opinions. Exactly. That's what it's all about, people. I go to games, James, we go to games, Charlie goes to games. The amount of opinions we have when we kind of hurdle up near the East Stand and we all talk about the game or whatnot. Everybody's around the world saying, no, but we don't like that player and we don't like this. And we I didn't think that was a good game or whatnot. So for me, it's all about opinions, isn't it, in life? And people should respect opinions, no matter where you come from, Of
course it is, mate. Opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one, right? Like at the end of the day, if I'm not the world's biggest EastEnders fan, right? So like I switch on, I put BBC One on, EastEnders is on. You know what happens if I don't like EastEnders? I switch over to Curry. Yeah. I don't write into the BBC saying EastEnders is shit. People that fire negativity in that direction, it's like, you can just not watch. It's free content. You don't have to watch it. Like, I know I probably shouldn't say this on your channel, but if you don't like Saeed's channel and Saeed's content, there's plenty of other Manchester United content which you might like. If you're watching some other content and you don't like it, you might find some stuff you like on Saeed's channel. There's enough stuff for everyone. This whole negativity thing, man, I don't buy it. Like, people sometimes come at me, come at you, and think we have agendas against certain players, right? Let me tell you right now, I've been going to Man United for a long time. I want every single Man United player that puts on that shirt to have a 10 out of 10 performance every week, whether it's Marcus Rashford, whether it's Harry Maguire, whether it's Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Luke Shaw, Cristiano Ronaldo, whoever it is, I want them to have a 10 out of 10 performance, because the more players that have those performances, the bigger the chance of us winning. And that's all I want from our football club. So like, all I'm doing is analysing 90 minutes on a pitch. I'm not looking at the whole season. I'm not looking at anything. When I'm asked after a game, what did you think of that performance? I'm looking at 90 minutes on that football pitch. Was that player good enough? And I'm sorry, but if you expect that to be positive in a season where we've literally failed in every way, then you're not going to get it positive unless you want me to lie. Then what kind of content's that? No point.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
On the haters thing, by the way, like, because I started doing content this year, and it was fine and stuff. And then for a little bit, I was getting like loads of negative comments and feedback in the YouTube comments and stuff. And I really, really took it personally. Really, really did. And I was with United View at the time, and Flex said to me, he's like, listen, man, he's like, if you read those comments, they will destroy you. He's like, turn the comments off. Don't look at them. There's loads more people that have got you back than haven't got you back. You're just focusing on the people that don't. He's like, I want you on the channel. I believe in you on the channel. Don't listen to anyone else. And that's the best advice I got, mate, because honestly, if you focus on what the people say negatively, you'll never create any content again. So just keep doing your own thing. Keep believing in yourself. The people that believe in you will love it. The people that don't won't. And you'll keep on growing.
Yep, 100%, man, 100%. Big up to Saeed, mate. Love, alhamdulillah. You make me get through life, and big up to other chaps. Yeah, man. That's another thing I want to talk about, like mental health. Like, you know, a lot of people don't talk about mental health. I'm a big advocate for mental health because it kind of crossed my job when I was a teacher. You know what I mean? There was a lot of emphasis on mental health. For me, it's very, very key, because I think content has helped a lot of people with mental health in terms of lockdown, you know, in terms of the fact that, you know, people have lost loved ones. So this can be a kind of almost like a escape. You know, football is an escape in itself, but I think, you know, content is an escape for people, you know, because they want to share the moment with you. They want to be inspired. They want to be motivated. They want to be kind of, you know, they just want to see other people happy. And I feel like for me, the enjoyment, Charlie, when, you know, United are winning, to the kind of almost despair and kind of unity, togetherness, or therapy, as I would call it, when you're watching it together, it's what it's all about. So for me, you know, mental health with content creating and whatnot, it's helped a lot. And for me, if there was any data analysis, I think it would support, you know, improving mental health, because I feel like for me, if you're looking at, you know, people watching stuff online now, you know, YouTube has become a massive source of people's enjoyment. You know, TV nowadays isn't great. It's not relatable. YouTube is, because I'm just a normal guy sitting in my house now, and I'm just sitting in front of the camera talking about United. And this could be anyone. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be, you know, David Beckham. It's literally, you know, I'm Saeed here in the camera just talking about United. It's real. It's nothing's fake about me right now. And for me, that's why for me it kind of helps people enjoy content, you know?
No, yeah, totally, mate. Yeah, totally. I mean, I started obviously with the Twitter stuff. I mean, I've only been on Twitter really since last April. And like, I came on just talking general football tweets, and I didn't have any expectations. I didn't really consider myself to have much knowledge. I didn't really know what I was doing at the start on Twitter, you know, with threads and, you know, embedding tweets. And I still had a bit of trouble with that a few months ago. I'm still learning the trade myself, and just started on YouTube as well. People are saying, oh, my mic's not very good. And I know it isn't, but I've still got to try and, you know, improve. And I don't really know what I'm doing myself. And this is anybody can do it. And I think this is what you give people. You give people that belief that anybody can do it.
Yeah.
You know, you started from nothing. You know, you started with a few views, a few people liking your shows, a few people involved, and this is how it's turned out. So that should give a real good hope to anyone watching.
Yeah.
That if you want to start your own thing, you know, you go and do it, because, okay, even if it doesn't work out, even if you think after a year, oh, this hasn't gone as planned, you know, at least you've tried. At least you've had a go. At least you might have built a few friendships on the way. You never know how that might be able to help you. So it's not always all about as well those the content creators with millions of subscribers as well.
Yeah.
Even if you've only got a few subscribers, you've got your, you know, real trusted people. You've made good friends. That's what it's all about. As long as you're happy and proud of what you've done, that's all that matters. And in terms of mental health, for me coming on the channel as well, it's really helped me. You know, coming on and expressing my thoughts, having that hours break away a week from reality, that's helped me a lot. So I can vouch for that 100%.
No, 100%, mate. That's what it's all about, James. Bringing fans together, man. You know what I mean? Around the world. I would probably guess on this channel right now, there's probably 50 different countries on here. There's over 300 watching. And by the way, big up to everybody who's watching. Smash a like on the video. But I'd be guessing there's over 50 other countries from here. So it just shows you how global, not only just, you know, my channel is, but in terms of just the content that it can reach, it's phenomenal, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, football's changing, man. Your reach with your opinion used to be whoever was sat round the pub table with you watching the game, right? That used to be, you used to debate over offsides and stuff in the pub. Like, that used to be your reach. And now with the camera phone and the internet and stuff, your reach is infinite. Anyone with an internet connection can access you and listen to your opinion. And that's what's so great. On the mental health thing, like, for people that don't know, like, I've been in the gym industry for a while, for like 12, 13 years. And I saw a comment just up there congratulating Saeed on his weight loss. Saeed is an absolute animal when it comes to the gym and weight loss and stuff. He's putting in some proper graft, and if you can't see, his face is a bit drawn in.
I
know his training.
By the way,
hard.
You say that I actually I'm gonna make by the way, I wanted to kind of announce that I will be making a lifestyle channel as well as the football. So I will be introducing like gym and other lifestyle stuff. Like, I don't want to try and create like this, more up and close so people can get to know me. So that will be coming soon, people. I will try and get it over the summer. Gym, anything that anyone's going through, if it's mental health, if it's like events I go to, any kind of things that I want to share with you. So yeah, man, look out for that one, people. So yeah, sorry, man. Go on.
It's all right, man. Meet you in jail, hit up a workout and film it, mate. It'll be good.
There you go, exactly, man. That's what we're gonna do, man.
Easy collab. No, but like, obviously, congrats on the weight loss. And for anyone that's struggling with mental health, not only with fan content, but honestly, getting in the gym and the endorphin rush you get from a workout is a huge way of dealing with mental health. And it's the way that I've dealt with my mental health for the last 17, 18 years. So if you are struggling, whatever it is, whether it's gym, whether it's YouTube content, whether it's seeing certain people, going for coffees, taking walks, whatever it is, if you're struggling, find that thing that gives you your release. If you can't find that, speak to someone, let them know like what you're going through. A problem shared is a problem halved. That's always true. Don't go through anything yourself. Always seek out help. And yeah, big up and take massive priority in your mental health, and no struggle's too small. So that's pretty important to say.
Absolutely. No, that's exactly it, mate. I think for me, it's all about kind of enjoying the experience, man, along the way. You know what I mean? The positions I've been in, the kind of opportunities I've met, the footballers I met, big up to Flex, but there was a time when we were going into the to collect our tickets for Bruges game, and then you see all the United players are already in the hotel. So there's so many opportunities that you can get from just being in good places and being a good person. For me, it's phenomenal. But obviously, we have to talk a little bit about United. You know what I mean? I want to try and leave a little segment. Obviously, Ralph Ragnick is the hot topic right now. For me, I just can't believe it. I feel like it's one step forward and 5 steps back. Obviously, Ralph Ragnick has gone, Charlie. What have you made of it, man? Obviously, there's been a little bit. I think there's a lot of people. I'm surprised on Twitter that have come against Ralph Ragnick. You know what I mean? They know who you are. They know who they are. But again, we won't name names. But are you surprised he's gone? Are you surprised he's gone?
You know what? I'm not surprised this has happened. To be honest with you, I'm not surprised. We know the problems at the club. We know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Forget about whether you thought Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should have been sacked the season before, or whenever he should have been sacked before that. Even we waited until after the 5-0 defeat against Liverpool. It was like damage limitation. The sacking of Solskjaer was way too late in the first place. Then, in all fairness to Michael Carrick, he did very, very well for those 3 games. But it was clear we didn't have a plan. We hadn't planned for this moment. They actually thought that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was going to be the man for years and years to come. They didn't have a plan, the board. They had no plan, and that was clear to me. And it should have been clear to everybody. They had no clue what they were doing at all. They thought about Conte, but Conte was too strong for them. He would have called out too much crap, and they wouldn't have liked him. And then they've hired Ralph Rangnick. Were they ever really thinking about doing the consultancy, or was it all just something that was clouded over? I'm not so sure. And the way that Rangnick has acted, I'm not shocked at all that they've got rid of him. I don't think it's anything too much to do with Ten Hag personally. I think it's the club's decision. This idea that he can't do both jobs at the same time, I don't think that's right either. I don't think it's got anything to do with Rangnick himself in terms of what he's chosen. I don't think it's to do with Ten Hag. I think the club have had enough of him speaking the truth, and I think they've got rid of him.
Yeah, big up to Andy Tate in the building. I will get your opinion in a sec, James. What What have you made of it, man? And Ralph Ragnick gone. It's almost like for me, they're almost waiting for that moment to kind of say, right, you're out the door, mate. We're kind of almost like we're good now. We're bye now. We're good. I mean, we got what we wanted. We got the information you wanted, but see you later now. We got Ten Hag, mate. He's going to do everything by himself. The same old chestnut.
Yeah, well, Ralph Rangnick is one of these people that clearly likes airing his dirty laundry in public, right? He's not scared to say it how he is. He's called out numerous players. He's called out the board. He said we're broken from head to toe. He said we need open heart surgery. And the board clearly don't like that. And whose decision it is, whether it's Ten Hag's decision, whether it's the board's decision, whether it's Rangnick's decision, I don't really know. But at the end of the day, I had a big problem at the start as soon as you bring in an interim manager. I'm not a huge fan of the term, to be honest. I really don't like the idea. Like if you're at work and you're a teacher, for example, and you come in, and a substitute teacher comes in, or a head teacher comes in, and you're told, oh, they're only going to have the job for the next 6 months. Are you going to work really hard to try and impress that person, knowing that they're not going to sign off on your promotion? They're not going to sign off on your pay rise. They're not going to be the person that's deciding where you are next year. Like, I just don't like that term because it just puts this whole cloud of uncertainty over the whole club. Whereas if you'd have said, this is the guy coming in, this is the manager, which they could have done if they'd have planned. Like, why wait until after 2-0 against City? Why not wait until after 5-0 against Liverpool? Why wait until after 4-1 against Watford? They had the whole international break that they could have used to make that decision. Yeah, we're dilly-dally FC. We seem to take our time. That club across the road, there's a reason that they've won so many Premier Leagues recently. Their infrastructure, their vision is so streets ahead of ours, mate. It's untrue. And I hate to say it because I hate the club. But at the end of the day, they're miles ahead. Like, they knew that Fernandinho was going to go this season. They're not looking for his replacement now. They bought him 3 years ago. They bought Rodri 3 years ago and let him settle in. Pep's probably going to go in a couple of years. They've probably already got his replacement lined up. They work so far ahead of time, mate, and we're just reactionary FC. Oh, right, our midfield's not worked this season. We know it's not worked. We'll start looking for a DM now. No, you should have been looking for a DM 12 months ago, 24 months ago, and we knew it didn't work. So the whole club's a mess, mate. On the Rangnick thing, listen, thank you for what you did. Unfortunately, it didn't work out as a manager. I'm glad that you called out some of the players. They needed calling out. I'm glad you called out the board. They definitely needed calling out. So there is some good that he's done for the club. I wish him the best with his role with Austria. And God, I wish Ten Hag the best because he's got a hell of a job in his hands on it.
Absolutely. You know what? It just kind of almost clouded the day. You know what I mean? I was hoping for a positive stream today, Andy Tate. You know what I mean? I thought I was just going to have reminiscing, but I had to talk about him, man. I will talk about him more in depth on the podcast tomorrow. But, Andy, what's your overriding thoughts on the fact that Ralph has gone?
Well, I woke up about 2:00 this afternoon after night shift and kind of a shock. Yeah. Really disappointed and angry. But I thank him for what he's done. He's exposed every element of the club, called them out for what they are, the snakes, the weasels, the viruses they are, the people on the pitch, the people in the boardroom, the backup staff on the training pitch. And I thank him for everything he's done, but it stinks. It really does stink, his exit. And I just hope this Ten Hag will not bow to the powers that be upstairs. Because if he does, it's not going to look good. Because he came in, all positivity last week. He's got to run a club with his own iron fist, his own crew, and just take no crap from upstairs. And at the moment, we've made the right decisions going forward. With recruitment, people have left in the media part, in the scouting department, and I just hope it's positive. But we'll wait and see in the next couple of weeks. So players have got to be signed and done and dusted, and we'll say all the players are back in about 4 weeks, aren't they? 5 weeks, and we go again.
Yeah. Do you think, Andy, that because Ralph said we need 10 players? There's going to be a lot of players going out, Glazonomic, I don't know if you know that, but, trying to keep the players that you've got and kind of using them as value, giving Bruno a new deal so then later on they can sell him for value more. It kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But I've said this about Bruno. Bruno has got 12 months to turn this around. Otherwise, he could be the next Paul Pogba. I've said this with you. I don't want him to be the next Paul Pogba. You can see he's frustrated, he's angry. But he has the potential. It's the same with Rashford. got 12 months to turn it around. Otherwise, like you say, this is not Ralph Rangnick's team. Ralph Rangnick's got to build an own team, his own philosophy, and this is a coming of the last 10 years. This is a team of 3-4 previous managers.
Yeah,
it's a dirty dozen. Are you going to get the best out of him next season? And Harry Maguire's another big question. I mean, I'm sure Ralph is told what to expect of the players and the bad apples in the dressing room. But we're losing about 7-8 players. But you're gonna need, let's say, a couple of transfer windows to get it right. You're gonna need 3 players this season. Are you gonna blow the budget? You're gonna get a couple of free transfers as well. A couple of the youngsters might come in as well. So you're gonna need a mix of experience, youth. You say utilize the free transfer market. I don't know what's available out there. Eriksen's a good shout, but would United take a chance on him? But I'm just hopeful, but I'm really cautious about the future. I don't believe anything them people upstairs say. But the positive, it's 90% positive. But the 10% disappointment is Ralph Rangnick going today, and it really disappoints me.
Absolutely. Big up to Diego C. Palace. He says, I'm a celebrity. Get me out here, please. Saeed, get Saeed. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Please, guys, smash a like on the video if you're watching right now. But Charlie, it just kind of almost see United always want to kind of give you a sucker punch, don't they? The feeling of Ten Hag coming in and saying we're coming after them, and he's speaking like he's who's that guy from Avengers? Who is
Tony
he?
Stark.
Thanos. Thanos, yeah, he's speaking like Thanos. He's coming in with the energy, the alpha male energy is ready. And do you think a lot of people have said that Ten Hag was a bit cautious in talking about Ralph Rangnick? Do you think Ten Hag went to the board and said, I don't really need him, so you can actually sack him if you want? Because the club intended to bring him for 2 years as a consultancy role. Do you think Ten Hag actually had any say in kind of saying dismissing, Ralph Rangnick?
No, I don't think it's the manager's. Look, from the way that this club has been run over the last few years, the lack of power that managers have had over things, and it's been a lot of player power. That's what I haven't liked. That the players have dictated a lot. I don't think that a manager is going to decide whether a consultant stays on. I don't think they would have given Ten Hag that power. I get what you're saying about Ten Hag in the interview. He said, I'll draw my own line, etc. But I think Ten Hag is that sort of person where he's trying to make it look like he's this no-nonsense person. He wants to show the media he's no muppet. I think that's what Ten Hag wanted to do. You've seen the way that Sky Sports have been chasing him around, and he's not interested. And that's what I do like about him. But for me, I don't think a manager decides whether a consultant of a club stays on. I don't think that's right. I think it's a club decision, and I think they might have even delayed the decision to make it look like it was Ten Hag. Does that make sense? They're trying to, not pass the blame, but they're just trying to cloud it over. Maybe they were thinking, maybe they knew this months ago that they were going to do this, but they were just waiting to time it now just to make it look better on them. That's just a conspiracy, but we don't know what's going on. I'm still unconvinced by these behind-the-scenes the Murto madness at Statman Baines. I'm still waiting to see it. I'm not going to get too giddy yet. We've got to be careful, man.
Absolutely. Big up to my guy.
Really good conspiracy theory, that. I'm telling you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what this club does to you, man. It makes you think about things that, you wouldn't second guess. But big up to my guy, Flawless in the building. Like I said to you, man, Flawless has been here since day one on the journey as well. I want to big up Flawless. And make sure you follow him, guys. Sarcasm City TV, man. The hardest working YouTuber I think I've ever seen, man. So big up to Flawless, Sarcasm City TV. Flawless, man. How are you, man? Everything all good?
Yeah, man, I'm all good. Thank you for the intro, and big up to you, 50k. You know what I'm saying? And that, like 50k subscribers, I gotta salute you for that, fam. Like the road's man. It's been great to be a part of the journey, and like 50k is no easy feat. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot of people, fam. That's a hell of a lot of people. Honest, this is a fact. You know what I'm saying? And that comment there is a fact, 100%. That is brilliant. But congrats to you, man, and thanks for letting me be a part of it as well, man. I appreciate it.
Come on, man. It's always, man. Always, man. You get me? Big up to you, man. We're just talking about the Ralph Rangnick situation.
Yeah.
What do you think about the situation, bro? Because there's a lot of people saying, yeah, man, you know what I mean? Like I said to you, it's right that he was kind of told to go. Didn't really do anything to kind of deserve or warrant a further stay. Where do you see yourself on the Rangnick situation?
I think, I'm not gonna lie, I think everybody's just, well, from social media, people are just overreacting. I think everybody's bored because we haven't signed anybody. Yeah. I think it's just the main story. Had United signed somebody during this period, this would be a secondary story. Because it's like he was supposed to come in and take up the consultancy role. I can't say he deserves it or he don't deserve it because he never took up the role. I blame Manchester. I've tweeted this out. I blame Manchester United for their incompetence. You know what I'm saying? And that's on them. As soon as they sat down with Ralph, that should have been sorted out there and then. His initial state and what was happening afterwards. Like, people are like, how can I blame Ralph for getting a bag? He came in and got his money and then has left. Like, there's no way he should have been able to take the Austria job. And it was just a whole not knowing. This happening with Ralph just sums up Manchester United on a whole and like how badly we do business. It's absolutely awful because I said if Ralph was going to land, I'm not really fussed about him from an interim perspective. It's more so the consultancy role because that's what he's good at. That's what he's known for. If Ten Hag didn't want him there, fair enough. That's a whole different conversation. But again, did the board have that conversation with Ten Hag beforehand? It's just a mess from top to bottom and it's really easy solutions. It's really simple to sort out. I personally would have preferred Ralph in a consultancy role, but it's on Ten Hag and now he's gone. Cool. I have no issues with it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, James, you know what I mean? Can the club be justified in what they've done? Can they do it right? You know what I mean? We want to be proven wrong. It's not as if, you know, we want the club to fail. We want to be proven wrong. Can the club act without, you know, kind of Ralph Rangnick? Did they need the advice? Because John Myrtle's hired within. It's not as if he's, you know, a best in class in that position. He's been hired within. He used to do something else. That's not a director of football role. Whereas Ralph Rangnick actually did. You know what I mean? There's no kind of, you know, it's not a big question. He actually did it. Like, you know, Man United, do you understand that? His role for the last 10, 15 years has been recruitment, has been getting football clubs to the best possible shape, best possible, you know, the style of play. It's all been his philosophy. So why not use that? So time will tell whether they've been justified in what they did in it.
Yeah, I think if you look at Man United since 2013, they've been run a certain way, right? Since Ed Woodward was executive vice chairman, and they very much made decisions from the top down. Now, people always go on about putting football people in football places, making footballing decisions, right? And believe it or not, John Murtagh is a football man. He doesn't get labelled as a football man, but he very much is a football man. And since John Murtagh has come into that position, there's actually been very positive changes being made in the last, in particular, 6 months. And the appointment of Rangnick was seen as a positive change. Matt Judge going, the scouts going, all seems positive. The Rangnick thing, I would have thought he was a Glazers person, to be honest, on the face of it. Before all in calling out the board and stuff, if you look at what he does with clubs and how he financially turns them round, and the turnover of Leipzig when he took over and the turnover of Leipzig when he left was like 600% higher, which you would think would appeal massively to the Glazers, who are massively motivated by financial, like they're massively financially driven. I think that's then changed as soon as he started airing his dirty laundry in public and started calling things out. And I think they thought, oh, you know, we don't like that. They just want to collect their 11% dividends. They just want to collect their money from their little cash cow in little Manchester and feed their books in Tampa Bay and get them to a Super Bowl. They don't really care what goes on here as long as we make money. We've missed out on the Champions League. We're going to lose a bit of money. Manchester United's a worldwide brand. They will still make money. They will still show a profit next year. The debt will still increase. They will still take their dividends. They'll go home happy. They don't really care on the face of it. But going forward, I am happy with some of the decisions that have been made. It's a shame that Rangnick's not here. He is proven as a technical director and as a sporting director. He spent more time over the past 10 years as a sporting director than he has as a manager. So why we've given him a chance as a manager and not as a sporting director is a bit beyond me, and probably does speak, like Flawless said, about the incompetence of the football club. But that's kind of Manchester United. That's where we're at. You've just got to hope that Ten Hag has come in. If he has had a say on it, then he puts his people in his places. He delegates what he needs to. He takes charge of what he needs to. And people buy into his philosophy and work hard for him. And we see a turnaround in this football club. Because let's face it, for the last 9 years, mate, it's been a shit show, hasn't it?
Absolutely. The point I want to make there, just going into you, Andy. You know, James said about John Myrtle finding Ralph Rangnick and then giving him a 2-year contract. So everybody at that point thinking, right, you can praise John Myrtle. You know, he's done well there. But then almost to kind of reverse his decision and take away the contract. And that's what I say to Statman Baines and anyone else who's saying Myrtle madness.
Hold that, Bainesy. Hold that. I love that. Take shots at him. I hope he's watching.
No, hold it. How can you say to me, Andy, give credit to John Myrtle because he's doing all this stuff, but then he's almost taking away that position that Ralph Rangnick gave to Ralph Rangnick. It's like I don't get.
I know he's sort of he's gone back on himself, and it's not looking good for him. So I think that little bit, I would say he's been controlled by the Gimps. That little 5-10% he's being controlled by the Gimps, and that's why he's been told to do this, and it's not good. It's not good. And you can think what you like about they just want to take their money. Could you imagine if we started winning trophies next season? Say if we win a couple of cups, even if it's the League Cup, which your friend was moaning about last week.
You take
the League Cup. I'll take fourth place in the League Cup or the Europa League. Yeah, so a trophy's a trophy. Don't tell me Liverpool, even though they've lost the quad, which is fantastic.
We're going to talk about that, by the way.
2 trophies more than us, and I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous because they've won 2 trophies. But you imagine what you win what you earn and make money. You imagine the media. Boom! If we were League Cup winners and Cup winners next season, and it goes on to like Premiership champions and European Cup finalists and European Cup winners. Honestly, the Glazers, they'll be frothing at the mouth like Homer Simpson in the donut shop. Honestly,
now you smart.
These Yanks don't get the fact that it's they only want to take a little bit of money just to get their Tampa Bay tampons up the wall. You know what I mean? I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of it. I just want my club. I'll never change. It's who I am. You know what I mean? I can say I used to work for him. I worked at the club in 2014, and it cost me my job just for speaking out against Mr. Moyes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the David Moyes. Oh,
yeah.
So actually, you lost your job.
Wait, was it the Moisey thing? Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did
That's why I lost my job.
Fair play.
Called them out after that 3-0 loss to City.
I wanted to ask you that day, man, Andy. You need to speak to us about that day because I remember. I don't know if you remember from Stretford Paddock. I started off at Stretford Paddock, but you know that day, mate, you went down in history, man. Because obviously there was an app, you know, as well. There was an app that you could say Moisey, and people were playing it on their phones.
I know, mate. It outsold Candy Crush for 6 weeks.
Yeah,
it did.
But yeah,
and I got my fair share. I got my treats out of it. I got a new car, I got a flat, new phone. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've had my fun.
Man,
I've had my fun.
But you know that day, that day was just crazy, man. That day, man. Speak us about that day for us. When at that moment, how did you feel going into it? Like, obviously, we lost to Man City. You know what I mean? It was 3-0.
There was personal reasons as well with me family. My mum had an heart attack 2 days previous, man. and she had dementia, and that contributed to the fact that, like I say, she was on the decline, and she's not here anymore. God rest her. But that match, if you think my club's falling apart, I need United. I need United to lift me because of what's happening in my personal life, and they couldn't even deliver that. So I didn't go to the game. I just went to the game with my dad and thought, "Come on, give us a lift." And United huffed and puffed. I mean, from Premiership champions to Premiership chumps in 12 months under David Moyes. It's pretty surreal. So I went out the ground, I saw the camera, and I thought, you know what, Moyes, I'm giving you both barrels, and I just let both barrels go, and I just give it him, and it cost me my job.
Wow,
you had a fool, Moyes. Good night.
You are a fool. Yo, that is classy.
A fool.
Oh yeah, they frog marched me. The club frog marched me out the ground the next home game.
What does that mean, frog march? As in kick you out?
They kicked me out. Yeah, next match, I went to the job. I went to the steward. Went to the steward room. Took my position up. Then he frog marched me halfway through the first half when that plane flew over.
Yeah.
With David Moyes out, frog marched me out the ground. Your services are no longer required. But like I say, I didn't give a shit because my family was in disarray. My mum was poorly. I didn't give a shit at the time. So as the rest, as you say, is history, and I don't care what people think of me as a, like you say, negatory plastic fan. But I've been going since 1983, mate. I've been a United fan since 8 years old, and I'm 47 now. Seen it, done it, bought a t-shirt, as they say. So I've done it all.
The job was there. The job was safe, mate. Anyway, they gave it Giggsy till the end of the season, so don't worry about
it. Did. Oh yeah, that was Evan. That was Evan, mate. But like you say, the transition, it wouldn't have been the rad I've had the last 8 years if it wasn't for that emotional blast. I just to say I don't give a shit about the club upstairs. And if you think that they really care about us upstairs, they don't, mate. We're just numbers. Fan 246, how much can we milk of him this season? Fan 247, how much can we drain his bank account? It's an emotional blackmail. It's a drain on your emotions. Like Saeed says it as well. This club, it can play on your mental health, and it's an important part of some people's lives if the club's all they got.
Yeah, no, it's true, man. It's true, man. Flawless, man. Do you see a way back for United now with Tate? Are you more positive now, or is it just kind of like they have to present us with kind of something to back in it? That's what it is, really. They have to give us something to hope with, innit?
Yeah, definitely more optimistic because you've seen what he's done at Ajax, and you're like, all right, cool. He's been successful over there. Yeah, it's the Dutch league, but he's been successful over there. He's also been into the last stages of the Champions League, which is important as well. So I'm looking at those two things and I'm like, yeah, I like the way he speaks. He seems like a drill sergeant. I've said this. We need a no-nonsense manager. We need it's my way or the highway type manager. That's 110% what we need. So I'm all for that. And with the amount of players who are leaving as well, we have to bring players in. It's not no choice of, all right, we can sit back and go, we got a squad of 20 plus. Like if you look, just the amount of players who are out of contract, and then on top of that, the players who may leave because they are also unhappy or not good enough or whatever, or if Ten Hag doesn't want him. So it is reasons for optimism, yeah. But this summer's massive. But it's been the most optimistic I've been in a long time regarding it. Because actually, I'm manager. I'm like, all right, maybe something can happen. Maybe. But I'm not sure.
Absolutely. Big up to my guy, Neji in the cut.
Neji,
how are you, man?
What are you saying? I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad. Is that all your trainer rack over there in the back?
Yeah, it's a bit mad still. It's a bit mad.
Crazy, man. Yeah. Big up to you, man.
I'm good, man. Hey, listen, big up the panel first and foremost, but more so for you, bro. 50, Ross Clark, K, my guy.
Come on, 100%.
Man. You know what, yeah?
Fantastic.
So deserved, man. So deserved. Like, no cap, man. Just, you know what it is, yeah? Obviously, in this football world, and I'm sure, you guys, you stream it all, that you meet on Twitter Spaces and the grounds and stuff. There's only a handful, I'm sure we can all vouch for this, but there's only a handful of people that are genuine, real people that have good intentions and want to go far, man. And sometimes you'll meet some decent people who turn out to be bad eggs. But yourself, bro, you kept it real, man. Always, man. You know what I mean? Always have good intentions. You fought the wars for the Glazers out at times on your ones where you getting slewed.
I'm gonna speak about that, You know what, man? I need to speak about that, But it's a good way to segment in, man. Because for me, let me just tell you about this Glazer protest, that people said I organized, by the way. So there's a kid online, I think it's called. I don't want to say his name actually because I don't want people messaging him or directing abuse. But he put a protest out. I think he said Ollie out, Glazer out. And I think on that day, I remember I retweeted it. And if I retweet something, obviously I've got quite a big following on Twitter. It kind of went.
Shit, fam. You got a massive following on Twitter. Retweet more of my shit, man. Come on, fam. You know what I'm saying? I need the promo.
Yeah. But it's like I retweeted it, right? But I remember on that day, I actually didn't read the bit where he said Ollie out. I genuinely, hand on heart, I swear to God, even actually, I did not see Ollie out. So I retweeted it because he said Glazer out first, and he put on the bottom small print Ollie out. So I was thinking, I'm gonna retweet that, support the cause on that. And the next minute, I think I quote tweeted said, if you care about the club, you're gonna be there. And then obviously I got a barrage of hate saying, Saeed's endorsing the Ollie Out campaign, etc., etc. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm only retweeting, I'm only supporting it. If you're gonna be there, you're gonna be there, innit? Like, it's just a Glazer Out campaign. Then once I found out, I told the kid, because he was 17, by the way, he's just a kid. I told him, right, take the Ollie Out thing and put Glazer Out only. And what did he do? He actually did it. But again, the people who want to throw shade on me, they don't check the facts and they don't read up on that because it suits their agenda. Next thing you know, obviously, I'm a fan. I thought I'm going to go to this protest in it, but I'm only coming to participate in it. Obviously, when I got there wasn't great numbers. I would say there's about 100, 150 people that came in there. And every single one that came in there, nobody shouted Ollie Out. Nobody shouted, this manager's rubbish, Tate. There was Glazer Out banners. There was this and that. There was, it was just a unity in it. And for me, if you're looking at all the greatest protests in life in general, like, it's not about the numbers, it's about the message. I don't know if people understand that. It's about the message that's put across. So obviously Sky Sports were there. Everybody was there. If one of the police officers tried to come over and said, are you the organizer? I said, no. Obviously, she's trying to incriminate me. I said, no. And then what happened was, so as we were getting ready, I think the reporters wanted us to get in a line and take a photo of it outside a megastore, because we ended up like closing the megastore down because obviously they seen us protesting and whatnot. And then as we get along, there's a few guys who obviously not kind of aware of the protest and the meaning of the protest. So what they do is, with their megastore bags, they rush over to the protest, think, oh, it's all United fans here. We're part of United fan base. Let's go over the photo. Little does he know that the kind of message that puts across is going to be a bad one. But then again, obviously, I went trending on social media for creating an Ollie Out protest that turned into a guy with his megastore bag. But that just shows you that things can be manipulated.
Of course.
People don't see the whole side of the story. But for me, I was on that space that day, Nate. You were there.
Yeah, man.
And we were talking about it. I stressed it time and time again.
You did.
It was the Ollie Out protest. And by the way, I came a bit late as well, so there's already people there.
Out protest.
I came in. I lived 10 minutes around the corner. I lived 10 minutes around the corner. It wasn't going to hurt me to come in, half an hour, join the protest and then go home. But it's a message behind it. And so, Neji, that's what I'm trying to say. People want to see things for what they want to see.
Listen,
that's why
bro,
people never hear.
Listen, all I can say, and I'm unfortunately have to bounce. I've got to make a few phone calls for tomorrow. It's the holidays in it for work, but I'm doing some coaching stuff for the kids them, so I've got to get out early night. But listen, I can't not show love, man, for real, and just keep doing what you're doing, man. 100%. Anyone out there wants to start something, do something that they're passionate about, make sure you do it, and just find good people on the way. You'll find some absolute well lads. That's standard. Smile, say cool, keep it moving. Find some good people, man. That's all I can say, man. You'll find the right clip.
I appreciate it, bro.
Big up yourself. Tate, Flores, don't think we spoke. Charlie, James, always a pleasure, man. Keep doing your thing, man. I'll see you guys soon, yeah?
Yeah,
big ups, man. Love.
Big up
in a bit. Bless.
I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. Yeah, just in general with that, Charlie, in terms of like, the Glazers and whatnot. Do you reckon we'll ever have a United fan base? Because I feel like we have to talk about that. Will we ever get a United fan base that's all, as one? Do you reckon we'll ever get that?
No, I don't think so. No.
Sad, yeah.
I don't think there's enough. Look, I'm going to use Real Madrid as the example. Real Madrid. So Real Madrid have been known for a long time when they've got poor performances, when things aren't going well, they react, they boo, they react as one. I think they lost 4-0 at home to Barcelona earlier on in the season, and they reacted very, very strongly to that in the ground. And obviously they've gone on to win the double, and they win the Champions League and the league. And I'm not saying that's just the fans are a part of that, but what at Real Madrid, that's an example of. If players don't perform on the pitch, there's consequences. Fans are allowed to criticise their club. They come as one and they think this isn't good enough. We've got standards here. I don't think we've got that in the majority of the United fan base. I don't think there's enough people that will be willing to sacrifice going to the ground for the best of causes. I don't think we've got that. For example, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we're losing 5-0. Was it 4 or 5-0 at half time, whatever it was, at home to Liverpool.
Yeah.
I shouted at halftime. I was shouting all sorts at halftime. I can't remember exactly what it was, but nobody else was really doing anything. There weren't many people actually doing anything, and we just suffered one of the most embarrassing defeats in our history, and everyone's just sort of not really involved. we haven't got enough people, I don't think, that go to games who actually want to make a difference and get the Glazers out. Personally, I don't think there's enough. And the issue is, people say, you know, don't buy your season ticket, but people need to realise there's thousands and thousands waiting on the waiting list. So if you give up your season ticket, there's thousands waiting. So unless you get rid of those thousands waiting, that won't actually change. So I think it's about the people who have got their season ticket, these so-called, you know, really, really hardcore fans. Those have got to be the ones who show something and come together and do something, hopefully. But I just can't see it happening.
James, what do you think's the problem with the fan base? Before I get Andy's and Flawless opinion, what do you think's wrong with the fan base? You know, in terms of why there's no togetherness and kind of unity.
How much time have you got, mate? There's plenty.
There's a lot. There is a lot.
There is. Mate. Honestly, like every time I log on Twitter and look at our fan base, I'm like, I'm ashamed to be part of our fan base sometimes, honestly. Like, take me back to the days where I could just go to the ground and support the team, have a few pints, scoops, and go home. Yeah. Because that was the days, man, because it doesn't exist anymore. Everyone's got an opinion. Everyone's entitled to it. I'm not saying they're not. On what Charlie said and the whole Glazers thing, and it's the people with the season tickets that have to do something, or the hardcore fans that need to do something. It's really tough, man. And I'm always being open to being like advised what to do. But like, if I give up my ticket, that ticket will go on general sale. That ticket will be sold to someone who's a tourist that's probably never been before. That tourist will spend £200 in the mega store. The Glazers will get more money. So there's no way that me giving up my ticket takes any money off the Glazers. If anything, it puts more money in the Glazers' pocket. You can talk about walkouts. You can talk about going into games late. You can talk about all this kind of stuff. But for those of us that are relatively financially hard up, I don't want to pay £50 a game and not watch 20 minutes of my football team. Like there's, and also you're asking someone with an emotional connection to the history of the football club to miss watching their team play. Like, I fell out of love with football a long time ago, years ago. It's not the game that I grew up watching. But I've loved Manchester United since I was 8 years old, and I will probably love them until the day I die. So I'm always going to go to the games unless something ridiculous happens. But you're asking someone to voluntarily, like, cut that cord, and it's very, very difficult to do. Very difficult. Now, I want the Glazers out more than almost anyone. I hate them, like green and gold until we're sold. I'm all for that message. But we need to find productive ways. And you talk about, like, fans walking out of stadiums. Old Trafford has 78,000 capacity, roughly. United Stand has 1.3 million subscribers. What makes more of an impact? We need to bring together the whole United community, fan channels around everywhere. People with a big influence need to drive that in the right positive way, not for their own agenda, but for the best of the club. Because why target 70-something thousand people at one game when we can target millions and a worldwide audience? That's the whole point of the internet nowadays. Like, one tweet from someone like, and I'm not saying he's going to get involved, one tweet from someone like Elon Musk reaches millions of people. Elon Musk doing a speech in an arena might reach 20,000 people. You need to use the medium that has the greatest reach. And that at the moment is the internet, as shown by like 50k subscribers, no pun intended, is more than City get at a home game each week.
Without doubt. That's without doubt. That's without doubt.
Like, say you could fill the Etihad and then have enough people outside to fill the hot dog stand outside the East Standards. But like, honestly, like, you could fill it loads of times over. So like, we need to go to where the biggest reach is. The biggest reach is online. We just need to find the best way to do that. And unfortunately, everyone likes an opinion. People like having a controversial opinion. Some people like being sheep. Some people like seeing things a bit differently. And it's very hard to unite this group of people in 2022 because people just like to be argumentative. People like controversy. People like that's why newspapers are full of negative headlines and not full of positive stories, as is the news, as is everything else, because people like that drama, mate. And it's very, very difficult. But we need to come together somehow.
Absolutely. Problem with the people with these influencers won't use their influence because there's too much egos in the influence space. Yeah, absolutely. Charlie, you're going to get off now in a minute, but I appreciate you coming on, mate. And, big up to you, man. I appreciate you coming on, man.
Big up, man.
No, big up. And congrats again, mate. Great achievement. And thanks to everyone in the chat, everybody in the panel. Big up to everyone. And keep doing what you're doing.
Absolutely. Make sure you follow his channel, people. Fred Manchazo on YouTube, man. He's doing content now. So big up to you, man.
Cheers, everyone. See you later.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. JJ Ash is saying there, big up Saeed Guna, follower here. Big up to JJ Ash. Not to your team, but big up to you. But yeah, this point that Anna's made, is that a key point for you, Andy? That too many people have got too many egos and we can't come across as a
There's people with egos. There's people who think they're bigger. They're on a level like a football player. But this, like you say, this internet, it could be the greatest gift, but it could be the greatest weapon as well. Manchester United utilise it for their evil greed and all that. But if all the Man United fans used it, 1.3 billion of us, so that's what he said, Man United fans, what the club against 1.3 billion Manchester United fans, the club wouldn't stand a chance. It really could. If we all put our differences aside, like you say, we're just fans. But if everybody put aside the differences, which they won't, because egos come and go like that. I've got to look good. I've got to look good in this moment. If you just unite for one day, this club will be on its knees. This club will be on its knees, begging for forgiveness from the fan base. It really would. And this club, I think it's on its last chance now with the fans, with the Ten Hag appointment. Because if they try to interfere or it goes pear-shaped, they're finished. There's no comeback from this. Like you say, if you've seen a protest against Liverpool, the next lot of protests, mate, will be on another level, a really another level.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I think the fan base now, Flawless, they need to see some production, man. Something to look forward to, man. Is that what we need right now? Just a bit of more positivity in terms of, not necessarily saying trophies at the minute right now, because we might be a bit way off it, but in terms of just trying to get to finals and, at least getting there. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that's the all envy, but some sort of positivity, good football, attractive football, like some kind of plan in it.
Yeah, that definitely helps. Of course, people want to see a plan. Of course, you want to see, like me personally, I want to see a plan of action. I've said about a system of play philosophy because that helps with our recruitment, because our recruitment's very, very poor. I cannot identify what a Manchester United player is. I can see a certain player and go, yeah, he fits what Pep is trying to do at City. He fits what he's trying to do, what Klopp is trying to do at Liverpool. You can see that, but with us, you don't know. But what shuts up most fans is success. If we was the only reason why we're having all of these conversations and everyone's trying to solution based is because we're not successful. If we were challenging and winning Premier League titles and Champions Leagues and even the domestic cups as well, everybody shuts up. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you don't see it. Liverpool have a massive fan base, not as big as us, but they have a massive fan base. But you don't see their fans going back and forth on social media. You know why? Because they're competing at the top level. Arsenal are very loud on social media. The reason why Arsenal fans are going back and forth so much because their team hasn't been successful in 2 going on 3 decades, depending on what you class as success. So there's where the issue lies. And with fans as well, certain section of the fan base, certain fans won't criticize the club because they see that as support. Like people think being like not criticizing whatsoever, that blind faith is what's best for the club. And it's like, no, that's not the case. And that happened. We've seen that reach the heights with the whole Ollie in versus Ollie out debate. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that, like, we got beat 5-0 at home to Liverpool, and people are still defending his manager. Now, if that's Ten Hag, is he still getting defended? No, it's not in the slightest. But because it's a guy that we like because he used to play for the club, it's like, all right, that's okay. And like, that's outrageous. And it wasn't just that result. There was previous results before that shown he wasn't good enough. So yeah, man, it's just, it's so many things. Like James mentioned it, there's so many things in regards to our fan base. But what shuts us up, again, I'll go back to the original point, is success. If Ten Hag comes in and delivers, watch 90% of these arguments and debates disappear. Because then that's one thing that all Manchester United fans want across the globe. However you support the club is, it don't matter where you from, it's success. We all want Manchester United back at the top. If we all win the Premier League, everyone's happy. Everyone's happy. Same with Champions League, even the domestic cup. Like Andy mentioned it when people were talking about not wanting the Europa League. I said if we ended up in the Conference League, which could have happened, target that. We haven't won a trophy in 6 years. I'm not hearing we should only be competing for right, we homeless. Someone just gave us a sandwich. Eat the sandwich.
Beggars can't be choosers.
Beggars can't be choosers. Don't tell me you don't like tomatoes on the sandwich. Eat the sandwich. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Legit.
I know. You can't beat a cheese butter.
Yeah,
cheese. You can't beat a cheese butter if that's all that's left in the fridge. You
left.
get it.
Yo, I'm gonna give everyone some bit of you know why you call it cheese butter, man? Basically, guess what my high school nickname was in high school? Cheesy.
Why was it cheesy?
Because basically, in high school, right, there was it was the first week of school, and all the queues are quite long in the first week, so all the like the canteen. So I went into the queue of the cheese butty. So I ended up just getting like a cheese sandwich all week. Yeah. And then one guy called Kasim, yeah. Big up to Kasim, yeah. The guy called me Cheesy. And the next thing you know, the whole high school knew me for the nickname Cheesy. So it kind of stuck. Until this day, there's certain people that call me Cheesy. But like I said, man, it's crazy, man. It only died down, I reckon, in uni. You know what I mean? That's what I was like, thank God, man. You know what I mean? It did. It literally, like, it died down in uni. So that was actually, people didn't actually know my name. People just called me Cheesy. Like, it's crazy. Like, so... Yeah. Well, listen, we're TV now. We're TV, Saeed TV now. So big up to the guy, man, that called me that, man. But yeah, it just shows you, man. Like I said to you, I'm just trying to give you memories, man, on here, man. But like I said,
oh yeah, we all had nicknames at school.
Yeah, everybody, man. Everybody had nicknames, man. It's crazy, man. But Andy, man, in terms of like, you know, having that faith, you know what I mean? Is it just because we've had one manager for so long, and now that we've had, I think it's like 9 managers, I think, since Fergie, if you include all the interims and whatnot. Like, are we going to be that club that we're just not going to win anything for, like, you know, obviously, God forbid, but Liverpool didn't win anything for how many years in terms of Premier League? You know,
30.
Do you reckon there's a 30, yeah. Do you reckon we're actually going to be that club that just doesn't actually win anything for so long because we've been kind of blessed with trophies for so long?
Well, I went through a generation where they didn't win it for 26 years. So wow. I've seen that bit. United last won the league in 67, and I was born in 74. So United didn't win till 1993. So yeah. I didn't know what the Football League title was until you miss out. You don't know what it is until you miss out on it. Won a couple of cups, but under this ownership, I don't know. I don't see where the league title's coming. I really don't. I mean, look at consistency. I was going to say this a few minutes ago. Chelsea, over the last 10 years, 20 years with Abramovich, they're always in it, winning a title, losing out on a title, getting to a cup final, winning a cup final, missing out. 3 years on the spin, they've missed out, lost the FA Cup final. Year before that, they won Europa League, beating Arsenal, but they're still in it. They're still doing it. Champions League last year. So I would rather be that sort of club, if that's what we have to do, being in and around it at the end of the season. You've got a chance of something, a trophy, just reaching out and trying to get not top 4, but, you know, being in it right till the very end, the last 1 or 2 games, and a chance to make history. That's all we want now. But with this ownership, I don't see it happening. If they stick the Conk if they stick the Conk in during the Ten Hag regime, if he walks, you imagine if he walked.
Oh my
God!
Not having this. Andy, don't do.
No, I'm just saying. They will not interfere because they're scared. They're running scared. If they stick the fingers in on the Conk, he'll punch him on the nose and right, this is on you. You sort this car crash out. I'm off, and he'll take he'll take his recruits with him. And the club will implode, but hopefully they've learned the lesson.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point there, James. Man, you know, it took. I was 20 the last time we won the league title. I was in college, literally finished last year of college, and I was there on that day, Albert Square, man. I don't know if you guys were there, but I was there on that day, Albert.
I was there for
that.
Exactly.
I was there.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
You know what I mean? I think James was in the gym somewhere, probably.
No, I was there.
You were there, yeah.
It was a great day, that. I remember that.
Yeah, man. Great day.
Sat Mancini that day as well. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember, man. Exactly.
It was a good day, that.
Yeah, so like I said to you, you know, James, I was 20 then. Obviously, I could be 30 next year. We still not win a league title. So for me, it's kind of sad, isn't it, when you look at like how far we've come, since winning that league in 2013, and the memories, and people talk about parades, mate. You want to know about that parade, not these City parades and Liverpool parades, mate. That United parade was something else, mate. The city was red. People were on lampposts everywhere. Like, it was crazy. Like, genuinely, James, be honest, like, when can United win a title? Like, I mean, for me, title is a pinnacle. Champions League, you enjoy it for about a month, and then you have to go back to reality.
Nah. You tripping. You enjoy the Champions League, fam. Come on, man.
No,
you don't enjoy the Champions League?
Of course you do. Of course you do.
No, I'm saying in terms of you get back into that mode of you got to defend it. Whereas I think Premier League, you can live that mode for the whole year. I feel like
that's you. Maybe because I'm shameless in it. If we win a Champions League, I'm not going to show up about it for the whole next year. Like the whole next year.
I get that point. But in terms of like Premier League, I think Premier League is over Champions League, because Premier League, 38 games a season, you've done it. It's consistency. It's you've earned it. Nobody can say, well, apart from Liverpool in 2019, that it was a fluke, and nobody ever forgets about it. That league title, when you talk about it, it's the pinnacle for me. What do you think? What do you think, Jim? When can we win the Premier League again?
I mean, if you ask me what I prefer to win on that topic, I probably prefer to win the Champions League. But I do agree. I do agree that the Premier League probably shows more consistency and shows it takes a better team to win the Premier League than the Champions League. But personally, just the historic feelings of European nights and stuff, and the night in the new camp and in Moscow and stuff, that for me it just means more. When can we next win a title? I don't know, mate. I genuinely don't know. If we look at like the Leicester model, we could fluke our way to a title anytime in the next 5 years. The problem is you've got City and Liverpool who you don't really see dropping off. Yeah. So we're going to have a 90-odd point season, which means we're going to have to win 28 to 30 games a season. And I just don't think this United team is anywhere near that.
How many have we won this season? Is it 12 or 13 or something?
Whatever it is, all-time record.
Yeah, I think it is, Let me just check here.
If you look at table. When like what Andy was saying before was telling, right? So like he
16
is awful. So 16 out of what, 38? So about 40%. Not good enough. So Andy grew up in an era where we didn't win a league title for 26 years, right? And then obviously Fergie came in, and that's the era I grew up in, right? So I, much like you, have probably known nothing like success and nothing but success for the first 20 odd years of my life. I was born in 88, started watching football in like 93, 94. So basically when we started winning the Premier League. And we were first, second, third, or winning a cup every single season for the whole of Fergie's reign. And I often feel like people from my generation go one of two ways. They either appreciate everything they've ever witnessed, and they're like, I can't believe we had that level of success. I'm just so like grateful. Or they're really spoiled and they think they're entitled and that we should be winning everything. We're miles away from winning everything, mate. Not only do City and Liverpool are so far ahead of us at the moment, right? But they're getting better. So not only do we have to get better than we have to get better at a rate that they're getting better. So we have to improve quicker than they're improving. And they are getting better. Like, you can talk about Salah, Mane, Firmino going, but Jota and Diaz have already been replaced. If they replace a third, then all of a sudden you've got a new front three. And that team could go on another 5, 6, 7 years. Like, we've got a lot of work to do. So realistically, Ten Hag's got a 4-year contract. If we win the Premier League in those 4 years, I'll obviously be ecstatic, but I'd be shocked, mate. I don't see it happening in that time frame. We've got a lot to fix on and off the pitch. We've got a lot to fix in the ground, in the academy, in the back room. Andy's worked at the club. I've worked at the club. And it's an absolute shit show from top to bottom, mate. I've got a lot of close mates that work in the club. And the whole thing needs restructuring. The whole thing needs remodeling. And we are miles away, mate. And I used to be known as a positive one. Years. Honestly, I used to be known as the positive one on United View. Like, I was really positive. But there's only so long you can be positive about something when you see what we're seeing week in, week out. It's a shambles, mate.
Absolutely. Big up to YUFC. Big up to you for the donation, mate. David Moyes sacked. LVG sacked. Jose Mourinho sacked. Ragnick sacked. Incoming Eric Ten Hag. Dear God, good luck. LVG's words to Eric Ten Hag terrified me. Yeah. What, is it just the same old? You come in positive and then you end up, kind of leaving, because it's a worrying trend for all us, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, it's not as if any manager post Fergie has had kind of success where you can look upon it a big success. It's been obviously Jose Mourinho won the Europa League and the Carabao Cup, but in terms of like Premier League and a couple of cups on their belt, is there hope that this trend kind of like stops? Are you more kind of optimistic about the future now?
Definitely more optimistic about the future. Andy touched on it. With our ownership, we are not built for sustained success. So forget what it's like. I'm a 90s baby as well, so I've known success. Forget United winning Premier Leagues back-to-back. Forget United three-peating. Let's forget dominance like that with our ownership. However, what we can do and what we can build towards is being a cup side. And we've seen Chelsea do it. Look at under Roman Abramovich. They literally never went his entire reign he was there longer than 2 years without a trophy. We would all take that now. United have gone 6 years. It feels like 60. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand it. It makes me sick. We haven't won a trophy for so long. So that's where you have to build to and targeting your domestic cups, your FA cups, your league cups. If we're in the Europa League, which we are in, target that competition. If you're in the Champions League with the correct draw, and if you do have a good team, you can also win that competition. Is it very tough? Absolutely. You got the likes of Real Madrid, whether it's a Bayern Munich, a PSG, of course, City and Liverpool. Because City and Liverpool are currently, this is their era. And we just have to accept that it's their era, and this is them on top at this cycle. But cycles don't last forever. They're not going to be around. They're not going to be around forever. Yeah, and he was right when he said that. It just feels like forever because it's two of our main rivals. It does. It's horrible. It is absolutely horrible. It's absolutely horrible. But it won't be. It just feels like
they're financially built for the next 20 to 30 years. They're financially built for life. City, Liverpool. They're so far ahead on the pitch and off the pitch, and we're like a three-wheel Del Boy van.
Yeah, it is. But you know what it is?
They're F1 cars.
But you know what it is? But you know what it is, Andy? All it takes is one wrong recruitment in terms of the managerial position, and that can all come crumbling down. We've seen it with David Moyes, with us. Who would have thought after the Fergie era? We would have nosedived so quickly. Yeah, the structure's not the same, but that's why I'm saying it's only one thing. Like nothing in football is going to last forever. It just feels that way, whether it's City or whether it's Liverpool. Are we far away from a title currently? Yes, but we got levels to go. I'm not even looking at titles right now. I'm looking at Manchester United trying to be one of the best 4 teams in the country, because we got to get above the 2 North London clubs first, who we just finished behind. Then we have to catch Chelsea. Then you look at Liverpool and Manchester City. So we've got stages to go. So I'm not even, that's way too far ahead at the top.
You mentioned the managerial appointment of Moyes, though, right? And saying that it only takes one wrong appointment. That managerial appointment from United might have been what burst the tyre, but that puncture started when the Glazers took over in 2005.
Oh, absolutely.
So don't get that wrong, that it's the manager that ruined the club.
It's not the club. Yeah, it's not just the manager, but even so, like I said, you can be, even with Manchester United now, even with our ownership, we're all looking at Ten Hag here and saying he can be successful here. Because I'm looking at next season, I'm optimistic about next season and saying, right, if we don't win the Europa League, I'm not looking at the Glazers. I'm looking at Ten Hag. I'm looking at our players that we have, because we are more than good enough to compete in that competition. Now, if it's Champions League, whole different thing. That's why I don't put everything solely on them. When you're talking the top level, cool. But the reason why I was so harsh on Oli at times is because I looked at that Villarreal final and I'm like, that's not on the Glazers. That's on you and the play. You got to do better there. You have to do better. You have to do better. When we play, our team's better than Villarreal's. That team he put out is good enough to beat Villarreal. 110%. To me, that's just to me. And I'm looking at it and I go, all right, we don't know how we're going to look at it come the start of this season coming up. Obviously, it's a shorter season. But if we have a better squad than, say, Arsenal, better 11, same with Spurs, I'll be looking to finish above them as well, if we do have better teams than them.
Get your flights booked for Hungary next season for the Europa League final.
It's on you, innit? Yeah. Hey, it's on you, Andy. We're rolling.
Oh, is it in Hungary?
I'll go. 2024's in Ireland as well. 2024's at the Aviva in Ireland. So if we get that, if it's not next year, I'll be there in 2024 with my Irish crew. I'm telling you.
Absolutely. Big up to DLM Design, man. This is my graphic designer, man. Big up to him. He's been part of the journey as well. I remember he came in, I think he was in college and he wanted to do graphic work. I gave him the opportunity, and then now, man, he's been ever since the journey. So big up to DLM Designs. He said, I've enjoyed making graphics for you over the last few years and can't wait for next season. Road to 100K. Anyone need graphics? DLM Designs, man. Make sure you hit him up on TikTok. And everywhere, people. Big up to Andy Tate. But like I said to you, it's just all about like planning for the future, man. And hopefully we can have some positive vibes, man. You know what I mean? And we can have enjoyment, James, because that's what it's all about, man. You know what I mean? And lift trophies and we can see some success. But what do you think that Ten Hag's got to do in terms of just necessities at United? Anything that you would look at, you think, please just change that, please change this, and make this a bit better, so then we could. You think that by you just looking at it from a James point of view, that I think that if you change these few things, we will be successful.
Well, the chat is probably be going mad saying McFred, right, or the midfield or whatever. But realistically, we've got so many issues, right? I'd ignore anyone that says De Gea to start, but we'll start with the team. There's plenty more than the team that needs changing, but we'll start with the team. Fullbacks are an issue. At least one centre-back is an issue. The midfield is clearly an issue. And one of the forward positions is an issue. So there are 5 or 6 players or positions that you need to address. There is a priority in order of them. I would say that 1 or 2 midfielders is a priority for sure. And then you're looking at right back, forward, and then finally centre back. I don't think, realistically, the centre backs that we're being linked with at the moment, I'm not massively sold on Pau Torres. I'm not massively sold on quite a number of people, to be honest. I think being at Manchester United is a completely different kettle of fish. I get what Flawless was saying before about Ten Hag and Ajax, but Ajax is a completely different kettle of fish to Manchester United. Absolutely. Not just because of the Dutch League and the Premier League, but just because even Ralf Rangnick has proven that he had no idea just how big the magnitude of this job was. He had no idea that every single word he said would be scrutinised. He had no idea of the media intensity, of just everything. The whole magnitude of Manchester United Football Club is huge. And people come here and they flop or they succeed. And it's happened to numerous players. Like, we go in on Maguire, right? We absolutely go in on Maguire. But let's face it, when we signed him, there are probably quite a few of us that can hold our hands up and say, I was happy with that signing. I'm not going to lie. I thought we'd signed a decent player. Good for Leicester, good for England. 80 million isn't my money. Don't really care. Happy. He improves our defence. It needed improving. Happy with it. He didn't perform at Manchester United. He doesn't fit our system. He's not good enough to play for us. He's not good enough to be our captain. Don't get that wrong. I don't think that. But there's certain players that come. Memphis Depay tore it up in the Dutch League. Couldn't do anything over here. There's loads of players that come and you think they're going to be a great fit, and they just don't work for some reason or other. So, going forward, necessities of the team. I just want him to start. I think Flawless, it was you that was saying it before. When you look at Pep, you can look at a type of player and say, he'd work for Pep. When you look at Klopp, you can say, he'd work for Klopp. We haven't watched enough of Ten Hag. We can all pretend to be Ten Hag experts, but we've not really watched a lot of Ajax this season. Until we've watched a lot of Ten Hag, we're not going to be able to say, that's a Ten Hag player. People would have us believe that Donny is, that Nkunku is, that all these other players are, but we don't know until he plays. And I just want to see a system of players. When I used to be on United View, there's a guy called Cam, and he says it very often, and I couldn't agree with him more. We're like the Harlem Globetrotters of football, right? We just sign these superstars and try and fit them in square pegs in round holes. FC. It's like we're playing FIFA. We open up a pack, we pick the most valuable player out the pack, and just plonk them anywhere in the team. And I want to see us pick players to fit a system. They don't have to be best in class. They have to be best in that system. I want us to play a brand of football. I want us to coach them in that brand of football. I want them to get specialists in playing that brand of football. And then we learn and can adapt and progressively buy better players from there. But we need to have a style of play. And that's one of the most important things. I just want Ten Hag to get everyone on side, right? I want the leaks to stop. I want him to just have the people buy into his philosophy and just hopefully have a better season. Well, it has to be a better season, right?
Well, it can't be worse than this, Flawless, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely. It can't be worse. That's why I'm optimistic. It can't be worse because I've actually got a manager I believe in. Clip me. I actually have a manager I legit believe in. Clip me. It will not be worse than last season. I'm saying this is personal standpoint for me, because this is someone that manager-wise I can be like, all right, I'll go into war with you. Let's go. I believe in you. Say me and you spoke. I had no faith in the manager at the start of last season. Zero. So I'm just like, all right, let's just vibes our way through the season and see what happens.
Absolutely. There's always this kind of question. A lot of people talk about Rashford, whether he's going to get a chance next season. I personally think he's not the player he will be anymore. I don't think he's got a career left at United. I start with you, James. Is there a future for Rashford?
this is a tough one, man, because I say it over and over again, but he lives around the corner from me and no one wants him to succeed more than me, man. Like, he grew up 2 minutes away. His family went to the same school. Like, I want him to be United's number 10 for the next 10 years. Unfortunately, he's fallen off a cliff. I watched him at youth level. And in fairness, when he got his chance in the youth, like in the first team, when Martial got injured against Midtjylland, he came on, scored 2 goals. Like, he started, scored 2 goals, scored 2 the next week against Arsenal. He basically over-exceeded all expectations, right? Like, he didn't really perform like that in the youth team. His goal-scoring record wasn't phenomenal at youth level. So he kind of surpassed what everyone thought he would do. He then had a season or two where he was very good, confident, taking people on, aggressive, decent finishing. The problem that I've got with Rashford is that look at the people he's played with or under. Ronaldo, Cavani, Ibrahimovic. He's had Ronaldo as a coach. And he's had Solskjaer as a coach. Like, he's played with some of the best players and best finishers in our history. And his finishing's not improved. Now, people label this football intelligence, they label it whatever. But I needed to see a change in his game, and I've not. I've seen a change in his attitude. I've seen it progressively get worse. I don't see the same Marcus Rashford that I saw in 2015. And it's a big problem. And like I think Andy said before, he's got 12 months to turn it around under Ten Hag. I mean, to be honest, 12 months is generous. I think a lot of United fans will give him less than that.
Yeah, true.
If the bid was to come in tomorrow for 40, 50 million, a lot of people would take it. A lot of people would take it. And if you'd have said that a year ago, there's no chance they'd have taken it a year, 2 years ago. They'd be like, no, Rashford, 100 million at least, or no dice. We pictured Rashford being like a Scholes figure, right? Where it's like, oh, you want to buy Scholes? You want Scholes to play for you? Yeah, you'll have to buy my football club because Scholes isn't leaving. That's basically what Scholes said in that interview. When Inter Milan came in for him and they were like, all right, we want Paul Scholes to play for us. He said, you will have to buy Manchester United because that's the only way I'll play for you.
Yeah.
We pictured Rashford being like that. And I just it's not turned out that way, man. I feel sorry for him. I want it to work for him, but it's just not.
Absolutely. Big up to everybody who's still watching. Still over 400 is watching here. Make sure you follow Sarcasm City. You get me? You can see it right there, people. Make sure you follow him, man. And also make sure you follow James Dixon on Instagram. YouTube. You never know. He might make a YouTube channel.
Never know, Saeed. Never know.
Exactly. You never know, people. So make sure you check that one out. Also, big up to James Garner, man. You know what I mean? He got through Nottingham Forest. Yeah, absolutely. I was watching it today, man. Big up to Mimi. I was on their channel today. You get me on the watch along. So yeah, listen, they're through, man. Flawless. James Garner. You would think that United would keep him on loan and just say, yo, listen, keep up your football, innit?
Yeah, let him go. Yeah, don't bring him back and throw him into our midfield. Why? Why would you do that to him? You don't want no. Go get proper quality. And I'm not saying he can't play a role, but we pretty much need a whole new team, not just in terms of from a quality perspective, with the amount of players leaving, quantity. We need bodies. You know what I'm saying? And that. So it's like you're talking 10, 11 to 12 players could all leave plus more. So it's like you're gonna have to bring in a lot of players and right through the spine of the team, because that's how I'm looking at it. Do I want other pieces? Yeah, like a new left back, for instance. We need a right winger, for instance. But I'm looking at centre back, 2 midfielders to go in there alongside Donny, because I'm just tired of seeing McTominay and Bruno. I'm just tired of it. And I'm not trying to see, as much as I love Ronaldo, I'm not trying to see Ronaldo up front week in, week out. I'm not saying he has to be sold, but a 38-year-old leading the line for where Manchester United are trying to go is not it. And that annoys a lot of people, because we have a lot of people who are Ronaldo FC before they are Manchester United FC. And that's really the issue. And it's very similar with Rashford as well. Carragher hit the nail on the head when he was on overlap and he spoke about it. And he said, Rashford at best for Manchester United right now is a squad player, which he is. If an offer came in for him, would I be cool with him being sold? Yes. I'm cool with him staying also, though, but not as a first teamer. Carragher said it. For Manchester United to compete and win Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues with Rashford, the other two have to be superstars. And he's a Liverpool guy, but 110% agree with it. And it's like, why are we not aiming for better? I don't understand it. Why are we not aiming for Sancho level or better? Like, I'm not sure, even in the striker department, the midfielders, defenders, why don't we look for the best in class? Two-fair system. I'm not even saying a big name or expensive. I'm just saying somebody who fits what Ten Hag is trying to do. It's really simple to sit down with Ten Hag, see what he wants, see what attributes certain players need for certain positions and go get them. I want to hear about there's no value in the market. That's a lie. There's hundreds of thousands of players playing all across the world. You telling me you can't find one striker to play for Manchester United? Nah, man, your recruitment's just terrible.
Yeah,
recruitment, you can't find a centre back to partner Varane. Come on, man. Like,
yeah, it's
yeah,
true.
Man, go
it's
get
true.
the quality. Ridiculous.
Absolutely, man. I think it's, you know what I mean? I think the club need to do it properly. If they can do it properly, and like I said to you, if they get it right, I think it's possible. You know, it genuinely is possible. Andy, it's still on your text message, mate. I've sent it to you on your text message. Let me send it to you again, mate. There you go, mate. I sent it to you again, pal. But yeah, like I said to you, it's an interesting summer, man. Right now, James, it's a bit weird, isn't it? But the transfers are not really kind of, you actually don't know what's going on. Like normally, we'd be getting feeding about 100 players and whatnot. Right now, it's just Timber, Frankie de Jong, and it's only the Pau Torres. That's 3 players. Obviously, Kante as well, by the way. There's a Kante debate. Where do you stand with the Kante debate, James? Do you want Kante? Would you like Kante? Let me know in the comments as well, people. Kante or not?
I'm probably different to a few people on this. I wouldn't mind him at all. At all.
Oh, okay.
And I know a lot of people are against it. They say that, you know, it's just United have passed, signing players under the decline, doing all this, and they should be looking for a younger player who fits the system. I really like N'Golo Kante. I have for a long time. I think his engine's superb. I think he's exactly the type of player United need. Yes, they probably could have done with him 4 or 5 years ago. But unfortunately, we didn't get him 4 or 5 years ago. Is he a better option than what we've got? Yes. Does he fit a system? Yes. Does he stop a gap for the next 2-3 seasons? Yes. But would he be replacing after that? Probably yes. But I mean, it comes down to what our budget is, how many people we're going to sign, and what we need to do with that money, right? So, like, when people are like, "Oh, I'd never buy Declan Rice for 100 million," it's like, well, is our budget 300 million or is it 100 million? Because I don't want to blow the whole budget on Rice. But if Rice was a third of our budget, I'd gladly spend that on him. So, if Kante was relatively cheap, then I think it's an absolute no-brainer. If we're asking to spend 50, 60 million on Kante, then there's clearly better options available, and we should be looking at a younger player that could stay for longer and stuff like that. But on the transfers thing, you know how it works, man. We get linked with people. A lot of it's lazy journalism so far. We're getting linked with everyone that seems to have played for Ten Hag.
Absolutely. No surprise. Yep.
Like,
no surprise.
That was always going to happen. And then all of a sudden his assistant ends up being Steve McLaren, but it also was touted as Robin van Persie, Jaap Stam, Daley Blind, anyone else with a United connection and a Dutch connection, right? It's just complete lazy journalism. The thing is now, like, there's so many people trying to make a living out of being sports journalists, football journalists, transfer specialists. At the end of the day, until they're there holding up the United shirt, I don't believe anything, mate. So
absolutely.
The window closes when? August 31st, September 31st, something like that. Or whenever it closes anyway, like, that's when I'll know, and that's when I'll believe who we're going to sign. Until then, I'm not getting too gassed. But on that note, on ins and outs, I'm going to have to go, Saeed. But,
big up, man.
Big up. 50K.
Appreciate it,
man.
Big up to you, man.
Big up Paulus and Andy, and I'll speak to all you guys soon.
See you later.
Big up to you, man. Love. Big up to James, man. Big up to you, man. Andy, are you keen on Kante, man? Because James speaks about that point, but again, you know, if you look at another point, he is past his best when you actually look at him in terms of, and also the biggest point for me, just because someone's better than another player, should you mark your judgment based on that? You know what I mean? Because he's better than McTominay. It's not hard to be better than McTominay, is it? You know, no disrespect to McTominay.
I'm 47 and I'm better than McTominay. You know what I mean? At least I can kick. At least I can pass the ball to you and you pass it back to me. That's what McFred don't do. But I can see where it is with Kante, because over the years we've bought Schweinsteiger. Like I say, we've gone for these marquee signings.
Who's been good? Is he been good? Was he good, Schweinsteiger? When you look at what was meant to bring, he wasn't really great, was he? In terms of, he didn't get opportunities. He was out in the cold.
No, it was past. It was on the other side, wasn't it? Just turned
Matic
31.
as well. Matic as well.
Yeah,
you know, we got Matic on the wrong age.
Well, no, I would say Matic in his first season, I thought he was really good.
Yeah, he was, you know, to be fair, let's give it credit.
For one season, just for one season, 17, 18.
Yeah.
But I do believe this Kante thing, do you know what? I mean, what's Declan Rice got in his contract? 2 years left. Could you take Kante and let Declan Rice wind his contract down? Would he do that?
That's a good point. Yeah,
stopgap. Yeah, Kante, 18-month deal. Declan, we can't buy you out, but if you bide your time for another year. We'll and it said, has he got a release clause where he can get it a bit lower? So
yeah,
I will go look along them lines. Declan, you're going to be at United, just not now. You're just going to have to buy your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Where do you sit with the Kante flawless? You know what I mean? Like I said to you, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but is he the right player? That's why I think where the fan base and the club needs to be at. It's not a bad player, but is he the right player for what we need?
If we use him correctly, yeah, it's all about the variables. If Kante was to land at Manchester United for the right fee and the right wage, I'm all for it. So if he was, say he was 30 million, I think that's a steal for someone like Kante. 30 million, and he's not on something astronomical wage-wise. We're not making him one of the highest earners at the club. I'm all for that. And again, I wouldn't want him coming to Manchester United and being a first teamer. He should be backup because we need more than one midfielder anyway. Even with Pogba and Mata and Lingard all here, we still needed midfielders with those three. So with people leaving, we're gonna need more than one body. So why is it not Kante and somebody else? I think he's the perfect squad player to have. Premier League proven, very experienced. What is the problem there? But it's again, like I said, it's him in addition to someone. To me, why not go get Kante and Basuma? Why not get two or never? Go get more than one. I don't get like why we have to shop one at a time. Why can't we buy multiple midfielders? I don't understand it. And Kante shouldn't be too expensive. Basuma definitely wouldn't be expensive. I'm just using Basuma as an example, people. Go get him. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying with Kante.
You're right what you're saying. Look at Borussia Dortmund. I think they signed 4 players already.
This is what I'm saying. So it's like I don't get why is Manchester United one at a time. I'm really lost as to why we are doing it.
It's all just lies.
Yeah, it's all nonsense. Like you can't negotiate with negotiate with Chelsea and Brighton at the same time. Like, what's the issue? You might not got StreamYard. What's going on? You don't got Skype. Like basics. Like I really fail to understand why it's such a struggle. But yeah, Kante definitely. But as a squad player only, I wouldn't want to see him starting week in, week out.
Plus his wages are high. You know, apparently he's on 300k.
Kill that. If his wages is all 300, 400k, no.
300k, yeah.
Because that's the reason why we found it so tough to move players on, because certain players are on so much money. That's why. Yeah. That's why. So that's why it's good a lot of players are leaving, because we can't move on. It's like the likes of Phil Jones is still here.
Well, what we free up, we could get him.
Yeah, as well. Yeah,
Phil Jones has still got another year to go on his contract.
Oh my god! And he's on 100 grand.
And with an option of another year. Thank you, Ed Woodward. Nothing against Phil Jones, but you know what I mean. 100k a week. I wish I was on that. Jesus.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. It just shows you, man.
Oh
it
yeah.
Just shows you where the club's at, man.
It just plays with your mind how these players now. And he's after the Fergie generation with De Gea, and that's it.
Yeah, De Gea as well. That'll be an interesting subject as well when you look at it.
The club needs to move on now, like I say.
Yeah,
they do, and that's where we have to be smart with wages.
I think De Gea's got another 12 months.
Yeah, whether it's go on, Andy.
Yeah, he's breaking up by United's Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I think De Gea's got another 12 months now, flawless.
Is another 12 months? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, big up, man.
I'm just figuring out to say De Gea's got another 12 months. Ten Hag's going to make a big decision on a goalkeeper next summer. Do I stick with Ten Hag, or do I, like I say, go out, maybe buy an Alisson, buy an Edison? So a keeper that's there for the next 5, 6, 7 years, not just a stopgap keeper. And I don't see Dean Henderson coming back because he's a little grass snake. So big decisions on some players next 12 months.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And that's what he's been brought in. That's what he's been brought in to do. Ten Hag, like, we all know these situations, but United just have to be smarter with these contracts. Like, I don't get certain players, like, if you give them big money, if they can get that elsewhere. But it's like, why give certain players? Like, if Kante doesn't come to us, if he leaves Chelsea, he's not getting 300k elsewhere. He's not. But we'd be silly enough in the past to give him 300k, but you're not getting that anywhere else. Wherever he goes to, he's not. So why do we do that? Like, pay the market value. If this is prime Kante, different conversation.
Absolutely.
PSG, maybe PSG. But then they're a club who we know what their signings are like. PSG, they're on the vanity thing. It's not even a let's go and win stuff. And I don't know about PSG. True. They give a lot of money to Mbappe. Mbappe got signed off on that deal. You what I'm saying? He might veto it. He might say
exactly,
man. That's porn money. That's porn money. Mbappe, I tell you, it's disgusting.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Practically, he owns PSG now. Anyway,
he does. They give him the keys to the sea, pretty much.
Yeah, he's the CEO, man. He's the CEO, mate. He's the CEO,
COO, DOF, everything.
Absolutely, man.
Whole nine.
Big up to City Extra in the chat, man. You know what I'm saying? They popped in as well, saying to me, big up to you, man. You guys are doing bits over there. Obviously they're gonna be winning battles, they're winning trophies. You know what I mean? They got Haaland now. You know what I mean? It's not easy, man. We're all from Manchester. You know what I mean?
It's all part of the master plan, wasn't it?
Well, it's all part of the master plan. You know what I mean? It's you know what, man. You live near Old Trafford. I think both of you live near Man City.
I live with that. I live with that comment now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Manchester City, unfortunately, is not too far from me. Yeah, you're right. You know
there you go. You know what I mean? So obviously, I'm in the middle, man. I'm South Central.
Same here.
Yeah, so I'm bang in the middle. So again, it's not going to be easy. But
LA,
think they're having their time. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. But I think for me, there's a question here. There's a question here. Flawless. Is De Gea a legend? Is De Gea a legend?
That's a good question. Is De Gea a legend?
It's a tough one, you know.
Because he's done. The thing is, because he has done like obviously winning us a Premier League title, and then he won like player in a row 4 years in a row, I think it was. But then he had his bad spells. Is he a legend?
I think he's he's not a legend.
Yeah, I wouldn't call him a legend. I'd probably call him like a cult hero.
Trophies.
Yeah, like I'd call him like a cult.
Nah, I'm not gonna put him with a cult.
Nah, people love him. No. People, there is a part of our fan base that absolutely love to hear. You get the whole.
Yeah, people love
where
him.
Would we be without him? Yeah, that's why I call him a cult. He's under that umbrella. Whereas in certain people's eyes, he can do no wrong. It's where would we be without him? He saved us for that. Because like I said, he won.
He's like a Jason Park. He's a Jason Park type.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, Jason Park. Yeah. That's it. You know. Yeah, he's won us a league. He's won a league, but again, another player that probably is underachieved if you look at his actual career at the club. You know what I mean? He's not won that many trophies. He's won, I think, Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Europa League. That is poor.
It just shows the decline.
Big up to you.
Shows the decline, isn't it? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. City Extra, I've got a question. It goes, hey, I've got a question. Serious, no bait. How long are you prepared to give Ten Hag? Do you realistically think you'll get top 4 next season? I don't. Are you prepared to give him time, bro? Andy, you want to answer that one? Are you prepared to give him time if he doesn't get top 4, which is City Extra kind of alluded to? You might not get.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, he's got all the time in the world. He can do what he wants. He could take the 4 or 5 years. He could take the full 5 years because we are a shambles, and like you say, you're going to take a few hits. There's going to be a few bumps in the road. But if you got to get top of the hill, if you got to take a shortcut as well, I'm prepared to take it. But we just got to go with the emotions and ride with it.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't see it challenging for leagues next year. It's challenge just to get into Europe. I mean, can you imagine what your Newcastle are going to be in that mix? Challenging even just for top 6, top 7. So West Ham next season, Aston Villa as well. Maybe Leicester will make a comeback. It's just a fight just to get ahead of them. Then to look up at the mini league at the top. You got the mini league in the middle, and you got the mini league. It's basically it'll be 3 leagues next season in the top 10. That's what it's going to be, and it's going to be a fight just to get European football next season, which I think we'll be capable of doing. But it depends who Newcastle get. If Newcastle get some more decent players, I could see him challenging for Europa League, 5th place maybe. So
we'll see. Yeah, time will tell, man.
Take all the time you want, Ten Hag. Take your time.
Yeah, just worried about the wider fan base and board will agree on that. Yeah, absolutely. Big up to Divic Oro. He goes, he's a legend for playing behind of Jones Smalling. Absolutely. Get your questions in, people. We're going to wrap it up soon. Any questions that you've got last 5 minutes or so, get him in. It could be football or non-football related. That's it. Forest are back in the league. It's good to see them back in the league. They'll be singing "Have you ever won the European Cup?" to a lot of
Where's your
teams.
European Cup?
Where's
your cup?
Two times.
Can't wait for them to
Exactly,
sing that.
mate.
I can't wait for them to sing that to Arsenal City fans. Love that.
Yeah, absolutely,
I know.
man. You know what I mean?
It was the anniversary this weekend of Brian Clough as well, winning them European Cups. So I think it was a nice fitting touch for him to get. Yeah, because he had the 45th anniversary. 42nd was yesterday. Then on Friday it was the 41st because they won it in 79 and 80. So Brian Clough, mate, the best manager that never managed England. So nice tribute to Brian Clough. And the last time Nottingham Forest were in the Premier League, we won a treble.
Absolutely,
that's a good omen. It's a good omen, Andy. That's a good omen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's whiz through these questions. Flawless, who should be United's captain?
Probably De Gea, and it's probably by default because we don't have many options. You don't want to give it to a new signing. Who's left?
Yeah,
like legit. You got Ronaldo, who may or may not. If we sign a new striker, won't be starting week in, week out. He won't be your captain. Bruno, if we sign 2 midfielders, won't be starting week in, week out. It's probably De Gea by default. There's no one else I look at and go, yeah, he should be captain. Don't want to give it to Varane. He's just like, he's only been here a season. Who else is there? I think that goes to show the characters in our squad. And again, you don't want to give it to a new signing. It definitely shouldn't be Maguire. So probably by default, De Gea, who probably will get moved on in a year. We're a mess,
If we got Declan Rice, I would make just an exception because Declan Rice has the capability to be a leader. You see that at West Ham, because was it when he lost to the semi-final to Frankfurt? You see him at the end giving it to the referee in the corridor. That's what I want to see from United players, but you don't see it.
Yeah,
giving it out to the players, giving it out to the ref. But Declan Rice could be a United captain, but not at this moment in time.
Yeah, it's not like you just. It's just a poison chalice walking in. Like, so say Rice, obviously, say he was signed. It's coming in with a whole heap of pressure on him already as it is. Maybe a new midfield partner or 2 new midfield partners because he's new. Probably a new defense behind him as well, and then you are throw the captaincy on him. It's like you just add in. That's just adding to the. Obviously, we know what's like playing for Manchester United. That just adds even more pressure to him if that was the case. But yeah, it goes to show, man, just the lack of characters we have. So I'd probably say, like I said, De Gea by default.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone's asking, are you sold on Rice? You've always been against Rice.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Rice just in terms of it's the price point thing for me. Like again, if Ten Hag lands, well, he's here and he goes, Rice is the guy for me. I'll back him 100%. But when I look at Basuma and I look at Neves and I go, they're half the price. Do I believe Rice is double the player of those two? Just in terms of ability, no. So I'm like, why not we looking at that? I prefer Yasmin. Basmati, man. Basmati Rice. Basmati Rice. Pilau slaps, but Basmati Rice slaps.
Mexican, man.
This guy Mexican, you doing it bougie and that. Aye, man, with your YouTube checks. Yeah, man, you hella bougie. That's a Mexican rice. That's a Mexican rice. All right, okay.
Yeah, man, Uncle Ben's Mexican rice, man. They're the one.
Them pack slaps, still I can't lie. But as one was saying, is what's it called? Definitely, man. Like there's better options, I would say.
Absolutely. Big up Big Steve, man. We have to the Manx are here, man. Steve, what are you saying, lad? Yeah, man. Champions, man.
Listen, mate, it is what it is, isn't it? It's big up on the 50k as well, man. You deserve it.
Yeah, man. Come on, man. Love, man. Appreciate it, man. Come on, man. We out here, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was a mad one last night, wasn't it? I get dogs abuse off them lot all season. You know what I mean?
It's true.
I've just been having a conversation. The thing is with Liverpool at the minute, they can't get their head round the fact that Manchester City, the small club from across the road, is dominating in their golden era. They can't get it round it because did you see all the flags out in Paris? Everything either mentioned Manx or City or oil. So they're obviously obsessed and rattled by that. And at the end of the day, Jurgen Norbert Klopp will always be remembered because Pep Guardiola dominated him. End of story. That's it. So listen, if Manchester City was driving around Manchester tonight with a Carabao Cup and an FA Cup, it'd be on world news and everyone would be taking the piss. But because it's them, apparently, them 2 cups now are more important than anything. But we all know the truth. We know that the quad was never on. We know the treble was never on. And we know that at the end of the day, you can roll a shit in glitter all you want, but it's still a shit in it. And at the end of the day, the big dog trophy is in Manchester in the blue cabinet, not in Liverpool.
Yeah, it's true. Listen, you know, when you look at it, like it's crazy, you know, Steve, when you look at it, now that you got Sadio Mane leaving, I asked the question to Steve, I asked the question to Grizz, and he got a bit defensive when I said, you know, Van Dijk's 30, you know, you got Mane who's leaving now at 31. Sorry, 30. You got Salah who's 30 now. You know what I mean? They're approaching the prime, like the you know, the so-called latter stage of their career, and they've only won 1 Premier League in that time. Obviously, they won the Champions League and a few cups. They haven't dominated the way they would have dominated, and that's a worry for City, who are just relentless. Haaland, they've got better structure. They've obviously got more money, but in terms of how they win things, they're more relentless.
We've just scored the most goals out of the top 5 leagues in Europe with no striker. We've just signed probably the second best striker in the world, and Alvarez.
Fabinho, 29.
So we're always one step ahead of the game. The recruitment at City is always top notch. I mean, Liverpool recruitment is good, but like you say, Van Dijk, Mane, Salah may be off. They've got to rebuild again shortly. Good luck with that. I don't think it's going to happen, to be honest, but it is what it is.
Absolutely, yeah. Andy, what do you reckon of these lot, the mob round the road, Man City? What do you reckon next season for them lot? Are they winning everything again, or?
We ain't going away.
Yeah. Andy's gone. He's in there. He's in.
Yeah, it's there. They're the team to catch. It's all master planning it. So yeah. I mean, City's to throw away next season. City's to throw away. I mean, the only way City can throw it is like what they did during that 1920 season, and they just like the consistency goes the other way, and only City can stop themselves from winning the league.
Yeah,
and even next season with the Champions League, now they've got Haaland on board. I mean, it's a shooting range at the Etihad, isn't it? Absolutely, it's a free for all shooting range. So they've got that striker they want. So they could even be more. That could be the missing link for City for next season in Europe. Yeah. So you just have to wait and see. But City's a team to beat, and maybe even.
Oh, it's gone. It's gone.
Pac-Man's asking.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Have the Scousers underachieved flawless, considering they claim to have the best everything in the world?
Of course they have. If you're on for a quad and you win the least prestigious 2 out of the 4, of course, without doubt. Is it a success? Would it be a success for anybody else outside of Liverpool and City? Yeah, but if you're proclaiming to be the best, you're competing for the best 2 trophies, which they were in the Champions League and the Premier League. They were a point off the Premier League, finished runners up in the Champions League. Definitely underachieved. And we hear about their team and all of that. We hear about how good their manager is, how they have the best goalkeeper in Europe, the best centre-back, one of the best ever in the Premier League, generational fullbacks, the best fullback partnership, the double pivot's great. Mo Salah, one of the best wingers ever. So, how come you lot can't get over the line? I said it before, you know what they are? They're the greatest number 2s of all time. That's legit what they are. They are the best runners-up of all time. For those that watch The Fresh Prince, they're Carlton Banks. We all love the Fresh Prince. Carlton Banks is a fantastic character. That's Liverpool. He's kind of like they're and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, people think I'm taking shots when I say that, but that's the facts of the matter. How many times are you lot going to finish runners up until we're like, right, that's just the level you're at? People could be like, in the Fergie era, it took less than 90 points to the If you're that good, finish above 60.
The thing is with me, if anyone else that wins 2 trophies. You know, I'm not going to look down on anyone and say that's a bad achievement. But with them, because they hold themselves in such high esteem, and because they've been on streams with me over the last 2 years saying you can win as many Carabao Cups and FA Cups as you want, but they're fizzy pop trophies. Because they've been like that, now it's come back to bite them on the ass. You know what I mean? If they were humble enough to say, you know what, fair play, City are collecting trophies. They've not got the record in Europe, but they're still picking up trophies. They've been slagging Man City off and saying, all you can win is these small trophies. When it's come down to the shootout this year, you know, straight shootout, they've ended up with the fizzy pop trophies that they've been talking about and undermining. So now they can't all of a sudden go around the city thinking them trophies are the bollocks, because you've been throwing shade at everybody else. Now everyone's messaging me, Steve, we've still won 2 trophies. Hold on a minute. When Steve said that the other year, that wasn't good enough because little teams like Man City collect Carabao Cups, but now they've won it. Fucking hell, you never
parades,
really
isn't it?
innit?
Yeah, parades.
And I couldn't believe that the parade was real. Because I'm looking at when you are a top club competing for top trophies, those domestic cups should be in addition to the big trophies. That's what it is. There's no legends at big clubs for winning domestic trophies. Whoever your legend is, whether it's Pep. Pep's remembered at City because of what is Premier League dominance. Yes, the FA Cup and League Cups are additional side pieces, but when you talk to City fans, they're going to tell you that, right, he's dominated. He's won 4 out of the last 5 Premier Leagues. Fergie with us, whether it's Wenger with Arsenal, whoever. It's like that's what they should be an addition. You know what I'm saying? They should be the icing on the cake, not the whole cake.
Yeah, facts.
No, it's
exactly, mate. I'm going to leave the last comment here. Imagine doing a parade for an energy drink cup. And I think that's the best way to kind of wrap it up here. Big up to everybody who's tuned in, man. We've been streaming for the last 2 hours, man. I just want to say this was just a thank you to you guys, man, for providing us for 50k. Big up to Big Steve. We're going to Fazenda next week. We're going to be doing the forfeit. I'll be doing the forfeit, you know what I mean, wearing a ginger wig, because I thought Pogba would have a better season than De Bruyne.
Is that the bet you made?
Yeah, at the start of the season.
Mate.
Yeah. Listen, I got gassed, man. I got gassed.
Yeah, I know you. We know each other. Yes, I know you got gassed, man. You got to pick your fights better, man. You got to pick your fights better.
Listen, that day, I thought, you know what, man? Let me just bat Paul Pogba. And flipping hell, mate, he just let me down again, innit? You know what I mean?
Pogba had already got 4 assists and 2 goals or something by that point, and I was even that confident. I just knew it was just a flash in the pan, man.
Absolutely. But listen, big up to City Extra in the chat as well. Big up to everybody who's here. Tomorrow, watch out for the Big 6, man. Grizz is going to be in hiding, and then we'll see what happens. And then, yeah, man, big up to everybody who's watching. Steve, any last messages for anyone?
Nah, man, I'm relaxed. Listen, it's been a long season. We've got one of the big dogs in the bag. I'll take it. And we got Haaland coming, Alvarez coming. Looks like more signings are coming. And, yeah, we're in good shape going into the next season. So all the Blues out there, just have a rest. And I'll see you next season.
Absolutely. And to everybody who's on this channel now as well, please, guys, make sure you follow Sarcasm City TV. I'm just going to get the link here now, people. Make sure you subscribe to them, people. How many are you away from 4K, bro?
4K, is it? I think it's about 100. Maybe just 100. Over 100, 150, yeah, so something like that.
There's 400 in the chat right now. So we could do that today, people. So people, make sure you follow Sarcasm City. I'm a fellow Manx, you know what I mean? It's flawless to fellow Manx. It's about helping the Manx, man. You know what I mean? Let's because end of the day, this is what it's all about, man. It's community. We're all as one, and then obviously off the pitch, you know what I mean. We're rivals in it. These lot here, we don't like these lot down here on the blue side of Manchester. We don't like them, man. But off the pitch, we're good friends. So people, make sure you subscribe to the channel Sarcasm City TV.
For you, Twitch as well. People, head over to the Sarcasm City TV Twitch. I think we're like 6 away from 2K over there. So yeah, head over to the Twitch and get us over 2K, please, as well.
Absolutely, man. And yeah, man, people, we'll be back Straight Jacket Podcast with Nuruddin tomorrow. And I'll see you soon, pal. Take care.